Hello. Yes, let me turn the game audio down. Assuming it's working. Yep, it is. Okay. Turn that off for a second. So, hello, welcome to Game Boy Killer episode 19. For those of you who missed the last episode, we covered such classics as Superman, the game where... oh god, not the Buen emote. Oh god, I remember used to... on one of these I had a tier on a tier list, it was like Buen must die. But let's see. Superman. Yes, we looked at that in the last episode, the game where Superman falls off a building and decides to quit. And then, yeah, we looked at some other games that were a little bit higher up on this list. Games such as Kirby's Block Ball and Tetris Blast. Yeah, here's Tetris Blast. And of course, our new number 3, the international version of Space Invaders, the Super Game Boy version. Banjo-Kazooie. There's a game I could not get into. People really liked that game, but I don't know. Wasn't really my thing. I'm more of a Mario 64 person myself, but let's... the first game up on stream today. So, you may have noticed from the title... so yeah, you may have noticed from the title that I'm going to cover a little thing called the... well, let me get this cartridge out. Game... okay, you probably can't see this on stream. The Game USA cover advance is all blurry. No repeat 34 and 1. Hold on, let me get the camera. Go into full camera mode. Yeah. Yep, you probably still can't see it because we're blurry, the fingers. No, it's not. Just not going to zoom in. No, features such classics. Let's go back to the game. Features such classics as, yeah, Pokemon, 3 different versions of Pokemon, Aladdin, Looney Tunes. Oh, yeah, this is one of those arsehole games that keeps going into the attract mode, even though there is no attract mode because they can't be bothered to program one. But yeah, Tarzan, Tom and Jerry. So yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff on there. But first, I want to take a look at a Konami game because I've made fun of Konami a lot in this series. And I figure I need to redress the balance a little bit. Because, oh, also, I just realised that the game is loud. I apologise. Last week I was using the SNES. I was using the Super Game Boy. And today, I am using something called the Game Boy Player, which I've used on most of the other streams. But last time I wanted to show off some of the Super Game Boy features. But today, we're just going to go for the Game Boy Player. We'll probably do this for all the other streams anyway. So, first off, yeah, let's play some track and field. And what? Oh, I pressed the wrong button! No! Okay, I could play this if I didn't keep like pressing the button that accidentally triggers the thing. Also, yeah, welcome to Mash Button City, because that's what this game is. Bootleg. Ooh, you're in Latvia? Let me know how you get on there. So here we go with a whole 609 points. Also, yeah. So you get points based on how well you do in each of the events. So if you've ever played track and field on the NES or the PlayStation or whatever other console you might have played this on, kind of the same deal. So it's just a case of try to get as many points as you can. So like I say, I have raked Konami over the coals a little bit in this series. Because whoever made these multi-carts that I have, they loved going out of their way to find the worst Konami games to include. I don't know why, but for some reason they really seem to love including games like Castlevania Legends and Ninja Turtles 3 Radical Rescue. Games that I, well, in the latter case at least, I would not wish on my worst enemy. So, I wanted to redress the balance a bit by playing a game of theirs that I had back in the day. In fact, this may have been the only game from them I had, aside from like Poi Poi on the PlayStation and maybe 1 or 2 other games. So here we go. Go for the long jump. See how well I do on this? Yeah, so it's basically go as far as you can. So 7.69 meters, which is nice. So, yeah, as you say, it is pretty much what you expect from a game like this. It's just... Oh! Was that near the record? 8.3. It's hard to tell from this perspective, but okay. 8.38. Not a bad score, I don't think. I got to tap up for the thing. No, I got 49 again. That's not really going to help, is it? Okay, but there we go. Yeah. Incidentally, these games, they do have a lot of button mashing, but also, yeah, I can imagine Banjo is probably a lot more tolerable playing it with save states, because I seem to recall, it's one of those games, if you do some objectives and then die, it erases all the progress on those objectives. Which is, yeah, not a good time. I don't know. Like I say, I had a Nintendo 64 back in the day, but I only had about 12 games for it. And the only platformers that I had for it were Super Mario 64... What was it? Rayman 2. And both of those games are classics. I also had Tonic Trouble, which I think was from the same people who made Rayman 2. Though, of course, not quite as good. Though, honestly, I enjoyed that game way more than... Oh. Yeah, I enjoyed that game way more than I did Banjo. Maybe that's just my own bias from having played that game back in the day. Yeah, Donkey Kong 64 is definitely worse. Okay, here we go. Hooray, I got a valid attempt. It's probably not a good one, but, you know, I got 50 meters. Could be worse. Yeah, there we go, 51.84. So this one is a bit like the long jump, but you gotta press up at the right time, otherwise you miss. And then it just comes up as a vowel. Yeah, like that. So, I can't remember what constitutes a good score in these events. I mean, I guess generally if you get at least 800 points, you're doing well. I do know that this game has achievements, and I tried doing the achievement set, but, yeah, I just couldn't do some of them. The problem with that achievement set, actually, is that for some reason they never programmed a win condition for it. Like, you would think it's a case of if you get a certain amount of points in the event mode, or the competition mode, whatever, then that constitutes as, you know, quote-unquote beating the game. But there simply isn't one. It's weird. There's a few games like that. Like, what was it? The Popeye English game on the Famicom? There is no win condition. You either master it or you haven't beaten it. So here we go. Now we've got the hurdles. Any of these where I can't just, like, have both hands on the buttons to mash? Maybe I could do that on the actual Game Boy, but, yeah, it's not going to be happening on this. But like I say, this is a game I had back in the day. I didn't play it much at the time, but as I say, I did at least have it, which is more than... There we go. 1441. Oh, you have a Game Boy multi-cart. I wonder what games are on it. I'm guessing it's going to have games like Tetris and Othello. Super Mario Land. For some reason, they also have Q-Billion and Tesseract. Like, basically games that I've already covered in this series. If I've covered it in this series, then it's probably going to be a common game. Though some of them really aren't. Especially the games I looked at last time, since I was just playing my actual Game Boy games from back in the day. And a couple ones that I just happened to pick up, that I just happened to own the cartridges of. I may go back and do the rest at some point. I don't think those games have Game Boy or Super Game Boy features, so I'll just play them via this anyway. So here we go, the javelin throw, which is kind of similar to the long jump. But I think it may be a case that you have to get the angle differently. I think it needs to be a lower angle. Though that may have been a bit too low. But yeah, many of these events are similar to what you would find in, like, the NES version of Track and Field, except the presentation has been upgraded a little bit. There's more animation. I mean, this game did come out 5 years later, so it's kind of what you expect. And you've also got music cues from Track and Field 2 on the NES. So there we go. 40 degrees, I want to say, is ideal. I love the audio. Oh! It's like 95 millisecond. Getting closer, I think. See if I can get, like, 35 degrees might do it. Let's try that out. I want to at least see if I can beat a record on this. No, that's not going to be it. Oops. Yeah. But yeah, you do have things like this, where you have, like, the man that comes out and says, this is the score you got. You know, that sort of thing. And I like that, when the games do that. So here we go, whole 902 points. So I think the score goes up to 1,000. I don't know if you can get more than that. Maybe if you beat the record, but... I mean, I wasn't far off the record anyway, so surely the record is probably like 925 points or something like that. But there we go, javelin throw. I mean, some of these events weren't in track and field for the NES, like weightlifting wasn't in that. And the archery, as you'll see in a bit, is very different. Because, yeah, NES track and field has 8 events, this has 11. I can't remember what track and field 2 was like, though. I'm not going to lie, that's a game I've maybe played for about 5 minutes. So, weightlifting, I remember always sucking at this one. I don't know what it is about this event, but I was always bad at it. And I can never really remember what to do. So, yeah, basically, gotta do the clean and jerk, and, yeah, even getting it up to, yeah, 120 is not easy. Because you have to, like, mash the buttons for, like, 5 seconds as the animation plays out, which is kind of annoying. Like, was this event in Hypersports? Like, the arcade game? It might have been. But there we go. See, why does it have to stay there for, like, 5 seconds? Fine, you know what? Just to spite the game, I'm going to go for 140. Like, it throws you off. It's like, oh, they did the win animation because they're staying in place, and then the game's like, no. Okay, there we go. I mean, I had to at least qualify. Not that you lose if you fail to qualify or anything, but still. But I do want to show off the archery. I mean, there's 11 events anyway. We're already more than halfway. So, if you've ever played the NES version of this, so, yeah, draw, set the angle. So, draw just means you're ready to load the thing. So, yeah, aim at the target. So, there's wind. So, this always threw me off. So, I think the arrow going to the left, that means if the wind is going towards you. And I think it means that the wind is going 4 meters to the right. So let's try... Well, it's short, so let's go 2 to the left. Oh. Yeah, I have to get out to aim this. But, okay. So we've got 8. It's a good start. So now the wind's going to the left and it's going forward. But we're still... Okay, let's... Trying to figure this out. I mean, you can just go full power over time if you want. But here we go. Also, yeah, good luck trying to get it into the center. It's as hard as it is in the NES game. I'm going to recalibrate myself. Let's go full power! Yeah! Still a little too high, though. How was that only 7? Surely that was the same distance as the last 2 shots. Also, yeah, you'll notice here now we've got to go 70. So I got to aim... Let's aim, like, 6 degrees up. And, 9 degrees to the left. I think that's how the arrows work in this. Yeah, you notice that the finger's now starting to move... Ooh, just a little bit to the right. Yeah, like, it is so hard to aim at 70. I mean, you notice the world record is 56. And I have never gotten the record on this. So, I've got to aim... Let's aim 12 degrees up, since the wind is going against me. And right to the 3. Okay, let's hope this works. This is either going to go way too high, or it's just going to land on the ground. Oh, that actually wasn't that bad. Oh, Yeah, you'll have to post it to me in the chat, like the Discord server. Or just as a DM, because it's... I had to block some links. So it's still 70 meters, isn't it? Fine, we'll go for 10. Okay, the wind's not going left or right, so at least I'll get straight down the middle. Oh, no! Oh, that was my best shot. Oh, I got it! Like, I got 9. I got 9. And I think that's it. There we go. 830 points, not half bad. Yeah, like I said, I think I had to censor links because of, like, bots coming in to post nonsense. Super 4... Space Invaders, Tetris, and Breakout. Well, the Breakout game is probably going to be Alleyway. Because, I mean, that's kind of, like, the common Breakout-style game that you find on those cartridges. But yeah, I should point out, so the Space Invaders that you find on multicarts is always going to be the Japanese one. I am not aware of any that have the international one, like the one with Super Game Boy support. And that is tragic, because that one is definitely the version to play. So yeah, you want to play Space Invaders, I'd say go source a copy of that. Should I do these last 4 events? I mean, I might as well. I mean, there's not really much reason not to. So, triple jump. Oh yeah. This works basically as it does on the NES version, really. It's just kind of... Yep. Gotta get that triple jump, and I can't go that fast. So we go. We got 17 meters, I think. No, 16.5 meters. Well, that'll do nicely, I think. Actually, what happens if I just stand in place? Do I get disqualified for not moving? Because I know on the NES version, if you stand long enough, it just comes up as foul. Come on, game, do your worst. You know what's funny, too? So there were, you know, other track and field style games. Okay, I guess it doesn't value in this one. It waits. Okay, you know, let's deliberately not jump. Let's see what happens. He's like, oops, I forgot I'm supposed to jump here. But, okay. But yeah, there's another game I've got called Track Meet, which I picked up just because it's got the funniest box art I've ever seen in my life. But, I also picked up... Well, no. I was going to say I picked up another game. I didn't. What I actually did was I played a game on the Wataru Supervision called Olympic Trials, which is a similar concept to this, but it doesn't have as many events. Though it is one of the best games on the Supervision by default, by not being complete rubbish. But yeah, I do have a game called Track Meet, which I might show off at some point. Konami DDR machine at the seaside. I must admit, I am useless when it comes to DDR. Like, I can dance, but I cannot dance in a video game. Like, it's just, I'm incapable of it. Like, me playing DDR, I don't know, it's like, I may as well be having a seizure fit at the machine. Like, you get the same results. But here we go, swimming. I seem to recall this being one of the hardest, so, yeah, you have to use the D-pad to breathe. I move away from the mic to breathe in. Okay, here we go. Actually, you know, next time one of these things comes up, I may just deliberately foul. So this one, whenever the arrow appears, you have to breathe. I don't know if you're supposed to press down. I always press up and it works anyway. But yeah, basically, if you don't breathe, then you lose your speed. And I'm losing my speed anyway. Okay. 5, 5, 5, 5. It's a good time. Wait, a dance map for Time Crisis? Wait, since when does Time Crisis have dance map support? I mean, like, I've had G-Con 45 for my copy. G-Con 45s are cool, by the way. But there we go, 737 points, not bad. Okay, 2 events left. So we've got the discus throw. Should discus be an Olympic event? Discuss. Okay, that was terrible. So this is a bit like the what was it, the shot put from earlier? Yeah, it's kind of the same deal, except the timing's different. Like that. So you can't do it that way, because it just does that. But I was always kind of amused by this. Though I have to say, I think the best game in this series was always the PlayStation game, which I think I had back in the day. There we go, 49 meters. Okay, let's see. Hold on, I think it's something to do with the angle. I can't remember if you're supposed to throw it high. Yeah, let's try 53 degrees. That may work better. Yeah! Okay, 60 meters. Or, you know, let's just round it up and call it a day. But let's see. So, 759 points, not bad. But we got one more event to go. Can I get to 8,000 points? I think there is an achievement on the retro achievements for getting at least 8,000 points. So the pole vault, which was always one of the hardest events to get the hang of. And I'm not going to lie, I don't remember exactly how it works in this game. It works differently to the NES one, I think. The NES one, you basically get up to the pole, you tap up, get to the apex of the jump, and then hold up after that. So like you tap, let go, and then hold, which is weird. And you kind of have to be explained on how to do it, I think. So I can lower this. So I can lower it to 4 meters, and I can raise it up to 6 meters 32. Well, we'll go for the default, and then we'll go from there, I suppose. So I think you actually have to press down on this one, unlike all the other events where you can press up. And I can't remember the timing! No, he just like, can't be bothered. Yeah, this was always the event where you had to look up a guide on how to do it. And yeah, I never quite got the hang of this on this version. I could do it on the NES one, because again, the NES one is just press up twice, and it works. This one, I always have to look up like an online guide or like the manual on how to do it. Okay, I did it. Cool. Okay, I did not biff it on the last event, or whatever the word is. So there we go. 696 points. I'll take that. So, what does that give me? A grand total of 8,083 points. Hooray! I got more than 8,000 points. I will gladly take that. There we go, that makes me the 4th best person to ever play this game. Not quite as good as, not as good as, CRGF or SB. I have no idea who these people are. SB Nation? Jeff... I was about to say Jeff Crammond, but that doesn't work. Go for gold! Oh god. Yeah, good luck getting 10,000 points in this, by the way. It's near impossible. Because I think the score for each event only goes up to 1,000, and you got 11 events to do it in, so... yeah, good luck. But there we go. That is what track and field is like on the Game Boy. So, where does track and field go on this list? Well, we'll look at the top end of this list, but we'll come on to that if necessary. I think the best place to start is with the 100th best game so far. Since this list currently has 185 games, we're sort of, you know, this is near the midpoint, just a little bit below. I would like to get to 200, that would be great. But yeah. Is track and field better than Kung Fu Master for the Game Boy? Well, Kung Fu Master has its similarities with track and field. You know, both of them have versions on the NES. They're pseudo-sequels to the NES games, I guess. Because, of course, Kung Fu Master, also known as Spartan X, also known as Kung Fu on the NES. And it was quite a good game on the NES, but I never thought the Game Boy version was nearly as good. It looks better in some ways. There's more variation in the stages. I just don't like the combat nearly as much. Maybe that's just me. Whereas Track and Field on the Game Boy, you've got more events. The presentation has been upgraded. Because, again, it was made 5 years after the NES game. And it plays perfectly fine. But there is maybe a bit too much of a focus on just button mashing. Like, even the NES game, which had 8 events, 2 of those were not based on button mashing. This one, you've really only got the archery event. The rest of them, you have to mash buttons. And while they do get a surprising amount of mileage out of events based on mashing buttons, you think maybe they could have varied it up a bit more in terms of how to play them. But regardless, it is definitely better than Kung Fu Master. I'd gladly take this over that game. You know, it's better than that weird version of Street Fighter 2. It's better than James Bond 007. It's better than Pocket Monster Go Go Go, which is a great name. It's better than Sonic 6, aka Speedy Gonzales. It's better than that weird version of DuckTales. It's better than Pinball Revenge of the Gator. It's better than Yori's Revenge, the Kotile Ultimatum. It's better than Spot the video game. Yeah, I would say that. You know, Spot's got... He's got style. But when it comes down to it, the game basically is a variation on Othello. Granted, it's a better game than Othello. But still, I mean, that's kind of what this is. This game has a bit more going on. There's a whole thing about challenging yourself to beat the high scores, try to get 10,000 points, which is really hard to do. But, I mean, I would much rather sit down and try to get 10,000 points in this than I would trying to play Radical Rescue or whatever. So, yeah, I'd say this is better than Spot the video game. It's better than Tetris Blast. It's better than Gargoyle's Quest. It's better than Game Boy Gallery. You know, in terms of like games that have multiple modes going on, Game Boy Gallery can be a bit slow going. I like the game, but yeah, I can kind of understand if people don't like it. It's certainly got its issues compared to the later Game & Watch Gallery games. Oh, hello Alex, I hope you're doing well. So, Track and Field. Yeah, that's fine. So, most of the games I ranked on the previous stream are kind of in the top 50 right now. Although, yeah, Kobe's Block Ball, pretty close. Is it better than Elevator Action? I'm trying to think. Yeah, because it's also better than Serpent. I'll take this over Serpent. It's better than Ninja Boy. It's better than Lock and Chase. And it's better than Cat Trap. It's better than Minesweeper. But, I mean, we're kind of looking somewhere around this range. You know, Dr. Mario is where you think, well, Dr. Mario, you could maybe also make a case the NES version is a little bit better. Or even the SNES version, which came out later. I mean, there is no SNES version of Track and Field. Which is odd, because you think they would have made a 16-bit one, but yeah, they skipped the 16-bit consoles and went straight to PlayStation. I mean, this certainly isn't as good as the PlayStation game. And it's also not as good as Rodland. But it's better than Dr. Mario, so I'm going to say it's our new number 21. But hey, there we go. Track and Field, our new number 21. Almost in the top 20, but not quite. So that's Track and Field done for today. Not the only game I have based around Olympic events, though. So again, this is the cartridge we're going to be playing for the rest of today. Hopefully I'll get to actually cover all of the games that I haven't looked at yet. So this, also known as the Colour GB 34-in-1, the Colour Great Britain 34-in-1, doubtless is what that means. What I find funny about this multi-cart, I think we have seen this on a previous stream where I looked at these filler games like Ms. Pac-Man and Boxel, D-Dally and Opus. I'm trying to see if there's any funny typos, but I can't see any. Though, actually, it's funny, they say no repeat, although really Pop-Up and Cool Ball are the same game, just with a different title. So, yeah, a little bit questionable on that. But it's kind of funny on the bottom where it says CGB 34-in-1. Typically, multicarts like this, they'll have the game name in Chinese on the bottom. But for this one, they were like, yeah, we're not even going to bother doing that. We're just going to... They could have just filled it in with a background, but they did not. Oh, that sounds good. In case you have to do it that way later on. But yeah, Brainbender, Missile Command, because they couldn't fit the name on screen. Okay, so we're actually just going to take a look at the first 12 games on here, because the rest of them are the filler games that I've looked at in previous streams. And I think I may have looked at a couple of the other games as well. So, Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon Jade, Pokemon Origina, that's actually Pokemon Crystal. I'm not going to look at this one today because, I mean, covering multiple Pokemon games in one day is probably a bad idea. And would probably take the whole stream, so let's not do that. But yeah, you see they really stuck upon the licensed games for this. But let's take a look at Pokemon Diamond. Starring 3 diamonds. Are the Chaos Emeralds? Okay, well let's see what we've got for this. Also, this game's a bit quieter than the last one on my end. So, we've got Start, Continue, Sound, and Commune. Okay, so... Sound, what? Okay, so I guess Sound Test. Commune... Oh, okay, this is the link cable mode. Okay, well, unfortunately, I'm playing this on Game Boy Player, and I don't have anyone else to play this with. Continue doesn't work because I don't have a save file. So, let's start. It is currently 2:30. Or just about. Because I kind of want to see if the clock actually works correctly. So we'll go for 14:32. So, yes, Pokemon Diamond, because this is totally what I remember Pokemon looking at. Also, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read out the script for this. I've heard that one can reach the electric monster's world by walking straight along this big tree. How do you walk straight along the big tree when there's a massive fence around it? I'm eager to go there. Oh, and, okay, someone just threw a giant golf ball at him, I guess. Oh, it's dangerous. Yes, getting a ball pelted at you can be dangerous. Up here, only one man can fly over. You go ahead to pick up the ball. Oh, okay, I thought he was talking, but no, it's just the game telling you what it's doing. Beck found it, so I guess I'm playing as Beck. Unless the other dude is... Well, no, actually, I will say for the record, I have actually done my research on this game before doing this stream, because I wanted to make sure I at least sort of knew what I was talking about. Because I have not played this game much, but I wanted to at least have some frame of reference. So, you know how to play baseball? Oh, it's a baseball, not a golf ball. I apologise to any baseball fans. This is nothing special, Mior. It is said that there are kids who have never had a chance to live in the Electric Monsters world. Is that you and Sun-Ki? Whoever that is. If you feel sorry, please come over to the Electric Monsters world. Damn it! He's nothing! He just took the chance to make trouble. By leaving the screen? Okay. If he just shuts up, he may be a cute guy as well. Come on, let's go to see the ball. Mr. T.
Quit your jibber jabber! You ain't hurt! You pathetic!
Yeah, there's your Mr. T for the day. Hey, Sun-Ki, what are you doing up here? And what happened to the baseball? Did you just throw it away? Mr. Beck, is that you who hit the ball here? Oh, it must be Sedge. Yes, Mr. Sedge. You know, my favourite. If you go a little further, you will knock into each other. We will be careful next time. Well, could you play the baseball with us? Yes, I will play the baseball. Mr. Beck, are you not interested in Electric Monsters World? I hope to make friends with all of you! The Electric Monsters World can't work without D-Shoot. I don't want to know what D is short for. Electric monsters would never be my friends anymore. Also, yeah, so this game is based around phones, in case you didn't notice from the menu at the beginning. Well, the phone is ringing. Is the call from that under the tree? I don't know whether to put those symbols around that phrase. Well, they just find a phone inside the tree? Like, what's going on? You have portable phone with you. And it is that D-shoot. Mr. Beck, give me your phone. Okay, well, it's just turned into a mugging. What's going on? What? What's wrong? Come on! I see. Hello? With 5 dots after it. Oh god, the Mr. Bean face. We contact each other at last. You know what's funny, by the way? They recently did retro achievements for the Mr. Bean game on PS2. And I am tempted to actually play for it. I'm not going to stream it because it'd probably lag like crazy, but something I might do. But yeah, sometimes you get these cutscenes. And you know what? The art for these cutscenes actually looks fine. So yeah, we contact each other at last. Wow! That's how you say that. So here, welcome to, not quite Zelda world. Well, well. Ouch. What shall I do? Okay, so my character's just stuck on the ground, I guess. Mr. Beck, terrible! Or, no, maybe it's just him saying terrible. I can't even tell from this. What's up? Stop shouting! Well, I will when you do. Apostrophe, they even got a headache. Why did you scold me like this? Well, probably just because we flew through the sky. Something terrible has happened here. What's the matter? Well, listen carefully. Hold on. See if I can do the king voice. We're reading this. This is the Electric Monsters world. What? It's Electric Monsters world? Show me the antenna from D. It should be 4 antennas, isn't it? Usually the portable has 3 antennas only. It's a portable phone which can catch the electric wave from the Electric Monsters world. See, unfortunately there's nothing about him wondering what's for dinner, I don't think. So it's hard to make it convincing. Well then, we can call the Electric Monsters world by using D-shoot. I have no one I don't know what D-shoot is. I have seen this game played through to completion. I still don't know what they're talking about. Generally, D-shoot is a hard-won portable. How can you have this? And, okay, now we just have a giant turtle, I guess. This is Tulunk Village, isn't it? Well, is that a cute kid? Are you a selected one? Oh yes, we'll get into that in a minute. You move slowly toward the house over there, okay? Mr. Beck, well then. If we can approach this man, we may find out something. Okay. I like to call it a man when it's obviously a giant turtle. Or tortoise, whatever. I guess it's land-based. As far as I know, so I guess tortoise it is. Actually, that's weird when you think about it. Like, the Ninja Turtles are also... They also seem to be land-based, so... I think their name may be a bit incorrect. You must bring me something back. Will you go to the Electric Monsters world or not? What happens if I say no? Does it just, like, give me a game over? I want to see this. Let me introduce the Electric Monsters. Okay, is it Hobson's Choice? Mankind World. Or, no, maybe it's asking me if I'm familiar with the game. And I guess I said no, so now it's just explaining what's going on. So I guess we're in the real world, and now we've ended up in, like, Electric Monster World. So I don't know if it's just an alternate universe, or if it's like Digimon, where we've gone transported into, like, the Digivices. I never quite figured it out. And the cutscenes don't really make it that clear. Make friends with Electric Monsters over here. So, okay, so we got a tortoise, and we got a giant hedgehog. But, like, is D-shoot the name of the phone? You got the portable phone under the tree. Well, yes, that's what caused the whole conflict in the first place. So, I'm just trying to figure out what they're even talking about at this point. I think this is just explaining how the game works. Unfortunately, because it's a very dodgy translation, it doesn't really help. So, I should point out, okay, so if you haven't figured it out, if you're not aware, so not Digimon, the art style is making me think of Digimon now. But yeah, Pokémon Diamond is not a Pokémon game at all. You're probably aware of this, and you've probably figured it out immediately. So, I do get it, as best as this game is ever going to explain it to me. But, yeah, so this and Jade are essentially the same game. It's kind of a Pokemon deal where they release two versions of the same game with slightly different monster sets that you can encounter during gameplay. And that was just kind of the thing to do on Game Boy Color. Like, seriously, you look at a list of Game Boy Color games, like, every third game is an RPG that has 2 or 3 different versions of itself. At least that's what it... at least that's how I remember it being. Maybe the ratio was off a little bit. But there were a lot of these on Game Boy, like Meta Rot. Wasn't there a Bomberman game like this? I can't remember. But there are quite a few of them, if you want to look them up. Like, basically, Pokemon was huge, so a lot of other companies tried to make their own Pokemon beta. And obviously, none of them quite worked. I mean, I would say Digimon, but that was kind of its own thing, and then, you know, they made RPGs and whatever later on. Like, that basically started off as Tamagotchi for boys, from what I remember, so not really the same thing. But yeah, so this was originally a game called Telefang, Power and Speed versions. Honestly, I don't know which version is which when compared with these bootleg translations. This could easily be the Power version or the Speed version, for all I know. Also, yeah, the clock does work, although it seems to be a bit fast. So this is my starter Telefang, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Kuribute, which I'm going to assume they transliterated that from Japanese. Probably Kribute. Kribute? I don't know. So it's also Natmon type. I assume that's the type. From what I've seen, different monsters have different types. And yeah, it's the whole Pokemon thing of some are weak against other types and strong against other ones. Kind of standard Pokemon fare in terms of how that works. So map can be regarded as a start button. So basically it's telling you to press the start button to access the map, I think. But don't you press select for the map? Or I might be wrong. But yeah, so like I say, they made 2 versions of this game. They released it exclusively in Japan, then some bootleggers took it and did their own dodgy English translations and sold them as Pokemon games. That is literally what happened. But yeah, like I say, the clock doesn't really work properly, because I mean, currently it's 43 minutes past 2, but in the game it shows us 45, even though I did set the time correctly. So the overworld, yeah, it's got it's an odd one, where you know, at a glance, this really looks like Zelda. You know, it looks a lot like Link's Awakening. Also, if you stand in place, your health replenishes. I do remember that. So if you press start, it comes up with the map screen. Obviously, I haven't explored anywhere yet. How do you save? I don't remember. There is a way to save in this. I don't remember how it works. Maybe I have to get to a certain point. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's right. I configured the buttons differently. Yeah, so on my controller, R is select. Forgot about that. So prop, I don't remember what that is. Mail, I think that's if like the notification goes off, you check that. Because there is a notification sound in the game. Basically, it's kind of like what if Pokemon, but with phones. I think that's kind of the main conceit of the game. But also, what if the overworld was more like Legend of Zelda? So you can't press through here without the permit from Musa. Okay, so we walk through this tall grass. So, like Pokemon, I think sometimes you'll come across... Yeah, like this. You come across battles like this whale-looking thing. So you got fight, escape, and position. I don't remember what position does. Yeah, position is just information on what this thing actually is. But I think because it's the first one I found, maybe it doesn't tell me properly. Didn't call the mate. So basically you get assistance. Meow. Yeah, you get assistance as you progress through the game. Also, yeah, I did save just in case I lost immediately, just so I didn't have to go through the intro stuff again. So, yeah, this is basically how the game starts. You know, it's kind of what you expect from a game of this type. But, you know, I was always kind of thinking... Because I do enjoy Pokemon, like the first couple generations at least. Oh no. Is this going to be like Sand Attack, where it just causes all of your attacks to miss? No, I never liked that. Yeah. This is where I'll lose on the first fight, because the game just feels like being that way. Yep. This is me playing any RPG that's not Pokemon. It's just like 90% of my attacks miss and now I die. Yeah. See, this is why I don't tend to play RPGs, because it always just ends up like this. So it's like, eventually I win after like half an hour. Actually, yeah, what happens if you do call? Now, sometimes... Yeah, here we go. Well, Takabi... Okay, let's talk to this dude first. Okay, so if I stand in place, it actually refills your health, which is good. Because it means you're not going to be in a situation where you're, you know, towards the end of a dungeon and you're depleted. So at least it's possible to get your health back by just standing in place. I mean, I don't know. So we'll go in here, and then we talk to this man with the tall head. Ways are recommended here on how to introduce phones, because, you know, no one knows how to use a phone. I mean, even in 2000, I think a lot of people already had phones by this point. When introduced to E-Monster, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the music's quite good. So, I should point out, these games, well, I say these games, this game, the two versions of it, were made by Natsume. And Natsume always had good production values on their games, regardless of the qualities of the actual games. They always knew how to... Yeah, they always knew how to do that. Yeah, so let's see what this game introduces its own mechanics. E-monster in the forest, you better pretend to be an E-monster in the sky. So I think it's telling you what the weaknesses are. So, yeah, I guess, like, you know, sky types are strong against forest types. So, like, water is probably going to be weak to grass, like in Pokemon. Yeah, so that's basically what this is telling you. So you got water, you got sky. So I guess sky is weak to water. So it's similar to how Pokemon works. And then desert, I guess, is weak to something else. Well, it's kind of whatever. But it's okay. I do have my drink with me. So what is this thing? Electric monsters live in all kinds of places. A lot of the NPCs that you talk to will fight you, like in Pokemon with the trainers. But, I can't remember how the levels work in this. So here we go. Aussie appeared. Aussie Deals, or whatever his name is. Now, you can get assistance later on. Unfortunately, I don't have any at this point. So let's see what Diverge does, because I don't remember what that is. Oh, that's just, yeah, attack increase. Great. Attack. Increase defense, increase attack. Wonderful. So I think that accomplished nothing. In severe illness, which basically means critical hit. In case you couldn't figure that out. So, yeah, we won. We got 1 XP from that. Yeah, remember in Pokemon where you fight like a level, I don't know, level 10 Pokemon and you get like 30 XP? Yeah, this, you get a real pittance for the XP in this game. I'm trying to see if I can at least get an assistant. So, I think this thing is water type. I mean, I would assume, just based on how it looks. But then again, maybe you only come across the water types and in the water. Because I do know later on you go to like other areas in the game, like there's a water area, there's a whole bunch of dungeons where you fight like bosses at the end, you know, that sort of thing. And then you fight a whole bunch of dudes who try to get in the way, like that sort of thing. Like basically what you expect from this type of game. So we got 24 ball, which is interesting. So I guess that's the currency in the game, I think. Let me check that. So option... hold on, I'm going to save just in case. I am the kind of person who does save scum these games, because I'm not good at them. You know, like, I spent all of my own stat points on action games, apparently, and even now I'm not good at those. So return is just go back into the game. Months, I think, is this game's equivalent to the Pokédex. Phone... What happens if a phone, oh. Yeah, calls... There's calls. I thought there was a mode where you can, like, call up numbers. So music, prop. Which they didn't bother to translate that bit. What does it say? Item? Yeah, I guess you're just telling you what your items are. Or that you don't have any items at this point. Message 0. Okay, let's go back into the game. I'm trying to really see if I can get an, like, assistant thing. Unfortunately, the game isn't allowing me to do that. So, from what I remember... Oh, also, yeah, sometimes your dude will just attack on their own, which is a bit odd. So, what is this thing meant to be? Is it like an armadillo? Like, I gotta be honest, I don't think the character designs in this are quite up to the standards of Pokemon. And I think that was a big reason why Pokemon was as popular as it was because of just how cool those designs were. So yeah, now we're up to level 6. So, yeah, you look at the stats you've got here. So you got HP, SP, which I don't remember what that is. I want to say that's equivalent to, like, the PP for, like, moves in Pokemon, I think. Hit, that's just going to be attack power. Fend, I think, is defense. And what Bolt and Tail I got, I haven't got a clue. Like, is this thing electric type? Is that why I've got... Is that why I've got Bolt? But here we go. We've got the phone number of Aussie. And yeah, so that's basically... Yeah, save. That's just basically you can call up the assistants up to the fight. Very good. So here we go. I'll just stand here for a bit. Oh, I guess I don't need to because I leveled up and got my health back, I guess. So, what is this thing? River was very dirty. You cannot drink. Fountain is best drink. Yes, thanks for that. Okay, let's actually take a look in the shop. It's the third time you come to Community of Electric Monsters. I don't know why they keep using the long form, it's a bit odd. I don't know, maybe just putting the letter E at the start of things wasn't as common back then. So we have, here we got P-Card, Drill, a Game Boy, and a gun. Yeah, I want to buy a gun. Okay, I got 596 balls. I mean, I think we need the P card anyway, so we're going to do that. Hold on, how do I buy stuff? Is it B button, maybe? Start, select. How do I buy the thing? Or, no, maybe I have to talk to one of these people. There's 50 BL. So, yeah, I think we just need to pick up one. Yeah, I got to pick up the Game Boy for the hell of it. I may as well just pick up all these, because I've got the money for it. Or the ball currency. Yeah, I'm just going to just buy a gun. This is what Pal World wishes it was. And who's this? You won't do this in this shop, but in the left window, you can do Test Evolve or... Okay. So I guess that's a different function. I guess it's kind of like how in the Pokemon centers where you'd have the option to do link cable battles. Like that's where you go to do it. So I think it's just a case we go back to the start and then trigger the cutscene, I think. Oh, hold on. Yeah, here we go. What shall we do? The situation became worse. Okay, well, nothing's really happened other than I fought a couple of things. Mr. Beck, the Fountain of Toulon Village is in Northside. You must be careful. Okay, so I just leave. Hold on, no. I have to use the card on this door, I think, don't I? The door was sealed tightly. Can I not use the item? Gotta be an option for that. Let's try the item thing. Is it prop? Yeah, I'm just gonna use a gun on this door to open it. Shoot the locks off. Collect DNA with P card, but can't collect DNA from Kuribu. Here's 2 at the village. Oh, that's right, yeah, it's the permit. I thought it was a card. I don't know why. I want to at least see if I can do this first bit. So, let's talk to this dude. Hey, Beck, you are here in the E-Monsters world. It's nothing special. Well, no, but that. Fighting with a giant hedgehog is kind of special in itself. There's no need to be so passé about it. Do you know how to use it? Let's see what happens if I say no. What does it say? Beginning with the key of phone. When you call E-Monster, you can find them easily by browsing the phone. Okay, so it's basically saying how to use this game's equivalent to the Pokédex, I think. Incoming calls display will show you any calls from... Yeah, okay. The next is prop key. Actually, what is prop key? I don't remember what that is. Different... Oh, I see. So basically, yeah, that was one of the things about Pokemon is they had different ways of evolving, where typically you would just get them up to a high enough level and they evolve, but certain ones could only be evolved through trading, which didn't really make much sense to me. And then you had certain other ones where, what was it, like, you had to use like a moonstone or whatever. But as far as I'm aware, like, it's never actually explained in the game. The only way to know about that is to look it up online. So I'm glad that this game has a way of looking up how to, like, look up evolutions in it. And like I say, the game itself really has a vibe of, yeah, like Pokemon meets Link's Awakening a little bit. So here we go. So now we call our assistant, let's say, fight a clone of itself, or you know, the same species, whatever. Some points of 18 lost. Aussie go. Oh, here we go. Dive. Yeah, so obviously this thing isn't quite strong. It's a lower level. It's what, like level 3. Thankfully, you don't need to get much experience to level up early on, so, you know, there's at least that. But, as I say, I've not played this game much myself, but as I say, I have watched it played through to completion, so I at least have a good idea on what the whole game is like. Like, I know what happens later on. Because, as I say, like, normally with these games, like, when I cover games in this, I'm okay with going into them blind, but for something like this, I figure I'm probably best off, like, yeah, like, fully, like, knowing full well what the game is before going into it. Because, for one thing, this game is long. You know, we're probably talking, I don't know, probably at least 15 hours to beat it. Probably longer if you're like me and are rubbish at these type of games anyway. But then you've also got, like, yeah, I don't know, like, again, this isn't really my genre. And I always wondered, like, why do I like the Pokemon games on Game Boy when I don't like other games of this type? Like, what is it that Pokemon does differently? I guess a lot of it is just kind of the choices that it gives in terms of how you go about playing for it. With all the different types that you can play as. You can either specialise in 1 or 2 different types and try to power through the game with that, or you can do what I did and just play through the game with as many types as you can possibly cover. That's the way I like playing through it. I like having a nice well-rounded party. Did I take damage? No. But yeah, I like doing it that way. But it's got that going on. I guess this may have that as well, but a lot of RPGs don't. Also, yeah, this game, you don't actually have to go into the tall grass to fight. The monsters, whatever you want to call them. So, yeah. Kruger attack. Well, Diverge isn't really going to be useful, I don't think. So it's kind of whatever. But yeah, it's like Pokemon, I mean, there's a lot of downtime in those games where you're not having to fight enemies over and over. I mean, you are having to do a lot of that, especially if you're raising, like, a party of 6 and trying to beat the game that way. Which I like doing, because, I mean, if it's going to give me 6 slots, of course I'm going to use all of them. It seems a bit senseless to only have, like, 2 or 3. I always thought that was a bit odd that people do that. But, I don't know, maybe it's for speed-running purposes or whatever. But, depending on how you want to go about doing it, obviously. I'm not going to tell you how to play these games. But I always liked how with the gyms in Pokemon, they tend to be quite short. And, you know, if you're running low on health, you can always just quit and just, like, go back to, like, the Pokemon gym, which is right by it anyway. You know, it's kind of... Okay, let's talk to this man. But yeah, it's a game that even casual people like me who aren't into the genre can get more out of, where I've played other games where basically anywhere that's outside of a town is going to be full of, like, encounters. Like, you're constantly having to fight enemies, and you don't really have the option to, I might have to sneeze here. You don't really have the option to quit fights a lot of the time, or you may try to quit, and the game just keeps saying you're not allowed to. And that sort of thing. And I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of combat in these types of games, which is probably why I prefer, like, action RPGs or platformers that have RPG elements or whatever. It's just more my sort of thing. It varies, obviously. A lot of people like these type of games, but, you know, it's just it is how it is. And I do know later on in this game, you do fight parties of multiple enemies. Like, at this point, I'm only fighting one, but later on, you do have to fight multiple ones. I know the later Pokemon games do that as well, but I think even in those later games, you only have to fight maybe two, and that's it. Like, even then, you're kind of like, well, you don't really need to fight more than two. And then you play something like, I don't know, Phantasy Star, or like the later Dragon Quest games or whatever, where you may have to fight like 5 or 6 enemies at once, and you're constantly getting hit, and the fights take ages, and it's just... I don't know, like games like that, I don't have the patience for them. So I'm trying to see if there's anything hidden. Also, yeah, I think you can call up to 2 assistants into these fights. I don't remember if you have to fight more than 3 enemies at any given time. I can't remember if that's something you have to do in this. But like I say, I like games like this more when it's more about exploration, trying to figure out where to go next, and yeah, doing all the side tasks and all that. So as you can see, so Aussie is weak to Kessie, I guess. But that's okay, we won. For this foolish opponent, injury reduced. So yeah, from what I recall, the attack system in this is somewhat simplified compared to Pokemon. Where with Pokemon, you may have, you know, each one is going to be a certain type. They're going to be 1 or 2 different types of, you know, like this one may be electric, this one may be flying fire, like Charizard or something. But then, yeah, their attacks may not necessarily come under that type. Like, you know, like, say you have a ground type that can do a water attack, you know, like that's a thing that can happen. So, okay, we go into here, go into the calls menu. I think it's calls. Yeah, here we go. So we receive a call from Aussie. Is there an electric monster called as Terrapy with the eggs on its back? When connecting gear to the electric monster, he will become stronger. Okay, well, that's good to know. So, yeah, occasionally you will receive calls from, like, the monsters in the game. And sometimes they'll... I assume they're supposed to give you advice on how to go about playing the game. Like, they give you tips on what to do next. Maybe. So they were up to Midu T, whatever that is. But yeah, sometimes they give you hints. Sometimes they want to do a conversation, and... like, whether or not your conversation goes well changes the relationship, where they... I don't know. I don't know how it works, but basically there's like a relationship meter. I guess a bit like The Sims, but not quite... Oh. Well, can I refill my health here? I will say, yeah, sometimes it appears on the top or the bottom, depending on where you are on screen. Oh. And here we go. Here's the Mantla. Great. And drink some more. Why not? Okay, I'm probably not going to play this one much longer, because I do want to take a look at the other games on this cartridge as well. But I figure I'd show this one off. So, I don't know what type this is. Is this water? I couldn't tell. Some points, 25 lost. Manslaughter painfully. Yeah, that looks painful. Also, yeah, you can only attack one enemy at once, unless maybe there are certain types, certain moves that can hit all the enemies, but I don't think that's a thing in this. I don't remember it being a thing. Also, it says caught the E-monster, but a lot of the time that doesn't happen. Yeah, like there, like, again, sometimes the game will say, you know, do you want to save someone's phone number so you can use them for battles? But then, a lot of the time, it just doesn't. And, yeah, one thing that this game does that Pokemon doesn't, if you if you lose in Pokemon, you get sent back to the last town that you were in. In this game, if you lose, you actually have to choose the like, continue option from the menu. It actually sends you back to the title screen, which is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far back it sends you if you die, though. We're not likely to see it at this point in the game, because these enemies aren't really all that strong anyway. Like, my default character is stronger than these enemies. And, like, even in Pokemon, you have to use potions to heal the Pokemon. I say that. I mean, you can just go to any town you want and get your health back that way. But I did like how in Pokemon, it was easy to avoid getting into confrontations a lot of the time, where you may just want to get from town A to town B, and you don't want to fight anything. And most of the time, it's easy to avoid that, unless it's a town that you haven't been to yet, and you've got a whole bunch of trainers on the way. That's the only way that you're likely to really lose. And I liked that about the game, where it's just kind of set up in a way. Wait, how do I get in the water? Can I get in the water? Or I may have just gone the wrong way. Okay, we'll fight this enemy, and then I'll try to see if I can advance this game a little bit. Also, yeah, for the record, I will be ranking this game and Pokemon Jade on the same entry on the list, because they are essentially the same game, as far as I'm aware. There's no real gameplay changes, other than the fact that a few of the monsters will be different, that you can fight normally. But as far as I'm aware, the story and everything else is exactly the same. Because I was watching Pokemon Jade being played through, and as I say, this looks to be exactly the same. But I do like the fact that you gain currency from winning the fights, which is something that doesn't happen in Pokemon. Pokemon, weirdly, at least the first gen, has a finite amount of money for you to obtain. Unless maybe you can get it from the pachinko machine. I can't remember if that's a thing. But yeah, it's like your opportunities to gain money in that game are finite. It seems to be lifted. Oh. No, now we have to fight this one again. So I think what I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to make my way north. But I think I may have just gone the wrong way. But yeah, if anyone wants me to move on to the next game, then let me know. So I think I've got a pretty good idea of where I'm going to rank this on the list. As I say, again, this game, not particularly the sort of thing I would necessarily play. I do know there is a translation of the original Telefang, like, for both versions. So if you really want to play this game, you know, I would say maybe play that translation, because as you may have noticed, this one, not necessarily a great translation, let's be honest. It's a bit questionable. Oh, here we go. We finally got a second phone number. Hooray! Very good, indeed. Okay, can I... No. It looked like you could go into that, but it won't let me. I know at some point you are allowed to go into the water. It's just I haven't reached that point in the game yet. So what is this thing? Do you know electric monsters have their... they have birthdays, apparently. Even the same electric monsters, if their born sequence are not the same, they will have different power. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. I don't know. How birthdays factor into this game, I really don't have a clue. What are you doing? We, Kakuzatu, will make delicious curry. It needs good water. Yes, you generally do need some good water to make a decent curry. Just a nice little cooking tips there for anyone who may want to make their own curry. If you want to go into Hole, please ask Nerikara. You know, there's some really good Japanese curry you can get from... Well, I mean, the one that I find, it's from, like, the big Tesco. Like, they sell these packs of curry, but you can get them from wherever else. So, as I say, I think you can call up to 2 assistants to help you with this. Not that I need them for this, but, you know, you might as well have them. So here we go, Kuru attack. Like I say, I'm going to at least try to see if I can get to the next sort of cutscene before I move on. But, here we go. Bite! We have a fierce-looking bite. Though it didn't seem to do that much damage. I don't know if maybe it's just a low level. I wasn't really paying attention. But I will say this, audio-wise, yeah, I mean, this is certainly up to standard for what Natsume were doing on Game Boy, because, yeah, they did a whole bunch of Game Boy Color games. Like, they also did... Didn't they do Croc 2 for Game Boy? I think that was one of theirs. Which is a bit of a weird thing when you think about it. That, yes, let's hire Natsume to make Croc 2 for the Game Boy. At the square underneath, the head of Kakuzato will give a speech. All electric monsters must show up, please. Okay, so the map... I thought maybe we were heading down to where that door was, but I guess not. Okay, let's try to at least get to this bit. So I'm going to see what this is about. If the game will let me... Okay, so if you try to escape, occasionally it works, but from what I remember, much of the time it doesn't. It will just force you into the fight anyway. I'll actually see if I can get that to show up, but... yeah, let's see what Glasses Man is about. I, Nerikara, thank you for being here today. If you elect me as Prime Minister of the Electric Monsters world... I don't know why he's doing campaign speeches in the middle of a forest, but whatever. I promise you that I will build a curry store right here in this Tulunk village. I mean, are stores dedicated to curry really a thing? I mean, like, even in Japan, I know they love curry, but like curry stores are not a thing. And like curry houses, like curry restaurants, whatever, yes. Everyone, please support me. Please support me in the next by-election so I can build a curry house. Okay, let's see what Cole's about. Cole's, here we go. Hold on, is this the same one? Ray seems to want blender? Okay, I don't know. Well, unfortunately I haven't collected a blender yet. Have you had curry? Not yet, but I may well do when I'm done with this stream. So, what are these things? I have seen that thing called curry. Yellow and spicy. So yeah, this game for some reason just has a whole side plot about making curry. What is that person saying? What is curry? Well, your friend seems to know. Hold on, what happens if I use... Yeah, I'm going to use the gun. What happens if I use the game? What does this do? Make game as the gift... Oh, so. Succeed! Okay, so I guess that just improved our relationship, maybe? I wasn't sure, like... Okay, what am I actually trying to do here? Okay, so what happens if I try to quit this fight? Oh, hold on. Maybe it's based on, like, the level. Like, the higher the level, the less chance you have of escaping a fight. I think that's how this works. Maybe. I do remember, like, Phantasy Star, where... What was going on here? Tim Curry? Yes, welcome to Tim Curry World. I wish this had, like, a PlayStation version, just so they could get Tim Curry to do voice acting. Because he'll be in any game, as long as they're giving him decent money. But, anyway. Yeah, I like a bit of the old Japanese curry. Or even a little bit of the old, tikka masala. I'm always down for tikka masala, I'll tell you that. Half time I go to the restaurant, that's what I order. I don't know, what is your favourite curry? Aside from Tim Curry, obviously, I mean, we're talking the food stuff. But, okay, here we go. In severe illness. I do love the translation. It's so dodgy, but it's amusing for that reason. Hold on. I don't think I talked to this one. There are some strange things. No, maybe I did talk to them. Antenna trees was broken. Who needs to grammar in this world? And, yellow-haired girl. Sorry, green-haired girl. I've forgotten what colours are, I'm sorry. Also, yeah, note the fact that the timer in the game says 23 minutes past 3, even though it's actually 3:15 in real life. So, yeah, when they made this translation, they somehow broke the timer. Because I'm pretty sure that does work in the original, so I don't know what's going on there. Just a bit of an odd one. Also, I don't know why I brought... Okay, I really should have brought the other one, surely. That's me being a fool! Okay, let's see if I can do it in one. No, not quite. Yes, my favourite curry, chicken tonight, sizzle and stir. Actually, it's funny, talking of Ian Wright, I'd totally forgotten about the show Friends Like These, where it's like 5 women, or should I say ladettes, as they tended to be, face up against 5 lads for the right to win a holiday. But they had to get questions about each other right to win the holiday. And it was hosted by... So the first 2 series, it was done by Anton Deck, but then they brought on Ian Wright after that. And honestly, he's a better host than you would probably assume for someone who was really known as a footballer. It's kind of funny, because, I mean, they did a similar thing last year with the Bullseye, like, reboot, possible reboot, where they had Freddie Flintoff hosting it. Okay, so, hold on, what's the other route? Trying to see if there's anything I missed, but it doesn't seem like it. Unless I'm supposed to go south. But I think I was actually meant to go north, but now I've got to go south. Yeah, talk to this man. I am watching the river here because the electric monsters in the sea are very strong. One group of horrible goose. Okay, I guess I can't really do anything else here. You can also swap out your main. I guess if you call the other ones, you can replace them. So, let's see. Oh, great. The instant I touch the grass, I have to go into a fight. Hold on, no, let's call this one. Not make the same mistake I did last time. I don't actually know what happens if the assistants, like, run out of health. I think you can just call them back for the next fight. Maybe. But, yeah. Whatever happened to Chicken Tonight, Sizzle and Stir? It's probably one of those things they had for maybe a couple years, and then decided that no one was buying it. But yeah, this is how I always play Pokemon. I always just go for just strength. Just like the actual attacks. I always go for them. So let's try going into the houses again, just in case I missed anything. Or maybe talking to Prime Minister Bloke. Oh, no, this is literally just the help man. So it's basically, so you got, like, rock types. So yeah, rock types, grass types, and forest types. I don't know what the difference is. Like, is forest type meant to be bug? Or maybe, like, forest is grass and grassland is bug. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, this is clearly a case of... Oops, just spat on the screen, I do apologise. But yeah, this is like an obvious case of, you know, we all know this game would not exist if Pokemon didn't exist. You know, it's one of those things that's quite obvious, let's be honest. Situation, get worse, da-na-na-na. Yeah, so I went to the north side, and, yeah. Because, I mean, you look at this map, I don't think I missed anything. No, because you can't go into the water at this point. So, I don't know. Probably call it here. If I can't go into this next area, I'm just going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to call it. Because, I mean, if you want to see this game being played through in full, there are people who are way better at this sort of thing than I am. Who can show you the full game. Actually, I wonder, if I save in this game and then load up Pokemon Jade, can I load the save in that game? Let's try that out. There we go. Change game packs. Let's do it. So, Pokemon Jade. I think I've seen that. Also, yeah, they actually do say the original title of the game. They didn't bother to edit that out, which is kind of funny. Also, this character, this deer-like thing, I think it's from Princess Mononoke. They just ripped it off and just stuck it in the game for some reason. Also, yeah, you want to know what this game is about? Yeah, this cutscene will tell you everything you need to know. Boy calls up a phone. And then we go to a forest. I just love the idea of, yeah, like this monster thing just carries a phone around with him. It's okay, we'll take down this other thing. And it's really funny, the monster designs really vary in quality. There are some later on in the game where, like, you wonder why they signed off on it. Like, there's like a horse that has like 4 chins. There's like a really ugly, like, blob thing that I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Okay, can I load the save in this? I don't think it works, but let's try it anyway. No, I don't think it does. That is unfortunate, but I mean, if I start this game, we're not going to bother setting the time. So, I think it looks slightly different, but yeah, it's kind of the same deal. Where, yeah, again, it's mostly the same... Wait, there's a movie where Ian Wright plays Lord Kitchener. Is that the one that does the I want you post like this? Where he points the poster and says, I want you, like the World War I poster. But anyway, yeah, so I don't think there's really a whole lot more I need to show with this game. If I do, we'll be here all day playing this one. So let's try to figure this out. Does he do the Lord Kitchener pose? That's what I want to know. But anyway, Pokémon Diamond and Jade, where does it go on this list? Well, it's a difficult one to figure out. I mean, Pokemon, is, you know, Gen 1 is currently number 8 on this list. But where does this game go? I mean, again, not particularly my type of game, but let's see. You compare it to Othello. I mean, Othello, also not really a game I care for. I'm not a fan of Othello, the board game. Partly because I'm rubbish at it, but also because I just don't find it to be all that interesting. But it's a perfectly good version of Othello. But this game's more interesting. You know, it's got plot lines about curry. It's got different types of E-monsters. Oh, future UK? Okay, I guess he's not playing the actual Lord Kitchener then. But yeah, this is better than Othello. It's got a really good soundtrack that puts it above, you know, Mega Man 2. You know, it's certainly better than that. Because Mega Man 2, just the audio makes me want to turn it off and then play the game. It's better than Boxall. It's better than Boxall 2. It's better than the Japanese version of Clax. And I'd also say it's better than Muhammad Ali Boxing. Muhammad Ali Boxing may be a reasonable simulation of boxing, but it also has really bad audio as well. It's better than DuckTales. But from what I've seen, like, this game really kind of wears itself thin by the end of the game. I've seen people who like RPGs who play through this game and then didn't like it that much by the end. And it's the kind of game where I play through it and I'm like, is this a game I really want to play through to completion? Probably not. Especially playing through it on a real Game Boy where the battery is liable to die on these old multicarts. I remember trying to play through Pokemon Crystal, got pretty far into it, and then the battery died. And I certainly wouldn't want to do that with this game. And yeah, like I say, I've seen people who've played through this game, and yeah, some of the dungeons later on really do not look fun to play. Where they're just kind of overly long and full of difficult monsters, and are kind of a pain to do. And the fact that, yeah, it's like you go back to the last point you saved when you die is kind of annoying. Like, you can lose progress. I hate when RPGs do that. It's why I didn't like Crystalis. I mean, that's an action RPG, and I did not like that game. It felt very closed off in the way it was designed, and also the fact that, like, you die. Like, you accidentally go... it's like you accidentally find the boss before you killed all the enemies to get your XP up, and then you die, and then you lose all your progress because you found the boss too early by accident. I hate when games do that. It's just, no. But yeah, I mean, this is better than Mr. Do. It's better than Kirby's Block Ball. Kirby's Block Ball is also frustrating at times, especially when you're trying to beat the high score. And I would maybe take this over that. It's better than Bust-a-Move 4. Is it better than Bust-a-Move 4? It certainly has much better sound than Bust-a-Move 4. The presentation is quite good for the most part. It's got some interesting mechanics going on, but at the same time it also feels somewhat dumbed down in places compared to Pokemon, but more frustrating and more sort of typically RPG-like in others, where maybe to a casual like myself it maybe has less appeal. I mean, I wouldn't put this above Yar's Revenge, the Kotile Automaton. You know, I think if I was going to choose between these games, I would go for that one. Because at the end of the day, it's Yar's Revenge. And you cannot beat a good game of Yar's Revenge. Except for these other 44 games that are above it on the list. Do I want to split up the Puzzle Boy games? Because I'm thinking... I mean, I would play this over Quirk. Would I play this over Amazing Tater? Because that one's got a bit more going on. It's got a bit more to it. And I think... No, I think this goes between the Puzzle Boy games. It's our new number 47. Pokémon Diamond and Jade, also known as Keitai Denju Telefang Power and Speed versions. I didn't have enough space to fit the whole thing on there, so we'll just go for that. So, there we go. Let's see what the other games on this are like, though. So, let's start with Aladdin. As I say, we're not going to play Pokemon Crystal today. We'll skip that one. Because, again, doing 2 RPGs in one day, let's not do that. Let's go for this colour scheme. Yep, here we go from Disney Interactive and Virgin with a red genie because of the colour palette they're set. I don't think this has a default colour palette. I think that's mostly first-party games. Oh yeah, this does have Super Game Boy advancements, although from what I remember it really just results in a custom border and colour that's on par with the NES version, which if you've ever played the NES version, really counts for nothing. You could also turn the music and sound effects off, which is strange. Very European, let's say. I mean, this was made in England, so what do you expect? But let's see what we've got going on. So here we go. I'm not going to bother reading the script for this one because, you know, this was a British-made game, so it's not going to be badly translated or anything like that. So, in case you haven't figured it out yet, this is based on the Mega Drive game, and in fact, most Aladdin games are going to be the Mega Drive game or based on that. You know, you also have the SNES game, which did get a bootleg for the Famicom, and I think there might have been a version on Game Boy Advance. I don't remember. I know there's a Game Boy Color Aladdin game, and I don't remember how it compares to this one. I think it is different. But yeah, as I say, this is based on the Mega Drive game, and I'm going to say for the record, I think the Mega Drive game is actually very good. Some people like to shit-talk the Mega Drive game. I think it is a very good Mega Drive game. It's certainly one of the better platformers with the system. But here we go, Aladdin for the Game Boy. How does this compare? I'm going to turn this up a bit on my end because it's a bit quiet. Oh, I forget how the controls work. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. So, it's like playing, is it Earthworm Jim on Game Boy, where you have to swap weapons. So, yeah, in this game you have gun. You don't have gun, really. You have apples, and then you have the sword. Also, yeah, you can see where they've used the sprites. I mean, obviously the camel isn't going to be blue playing this on a Game Boy. Though playing it on the Super Game Boy... But I suppose the black... Wait. So I got hit and the enemy despawned even though I didn't do anything. Okay, that was weird. But anyway. Get stock upon the apples. Yeah, that's the strategy. Just go for the apples and then you're fine. Yeah, weirdly enough, apples are often better weapons in this than the sword is, which is kind of weird. So it's kind of funny when like there were people complaining that like the SNES game didn't have a sword, Even though I don't think Aladdin had a sword in the film, or if he did, it wasn't prominently featured. It's just kind of like, well, you know, you get one in the Mega Drive games, that's kind of cool. Even though it doesn't tend to be all that useful a lot of the time. Like, it can be useful if you get the timing down. Also, yeah, so this Game Boy version was later converted to the NES. And, yeah, I'm going to say right now, the NES version is really not good at all. It's a very half-assed conversion. Essentially, NMS software, they kind of just took the... Well, they basically took this version and just slapped it onto the NES with, like, very little changed. Like, they didn't even bother to colour in the backgrounds or anything. It is a very poor. And in fact, from what I remember, it's also slower than this game as well. Like it runs slower, it's basically monochrome graphics. It's... Yeah. And they also did the same thing with The Lion King on Game Boy. Where are they? Oh, okay, I went through the apple, that was a bit odd. Also, yeah, the genie does show up in this. I mean, you saw him at the start anyway. Oh, actually, I think you are supposed to use the sword against this dude. But, of course, they have some idiot throwing pots from the background. Yeah, I was never good at avoiding getting hit in this, I'm not going to lie. At least in this version. I think in the Mega Drive version it's a little easier. Here we go. Here, get the sword throwing dude. You know, the Mega Drive, I always thought, had the best graphics of any of the versions of this. And I mean, even compared it to, like, the SNES, or, like, the 8-bit Sega game, which is different. So I should point out, yeah, the Game Gear Aladdin game is a different game. Just in case you never played it. And I don't see any health anywhere on this entire level. No, just jump! Yeah, the controls probably could have been a little bit more responsive. Sometimes I jump and it just doesn't work. Like, look at this. I'm trying to get up this pole and it just isn't working. Half the time he just refuses. It's like, am I, like, hitting the ledge and not going up for that? Or are the controls just not responding? I genuinely can't tell. Yeah. Which, again, was not a problem in the Mega Drive version. Like, the Mega Drive version, you go up the platform, no problem. But, of course, that version was done by the Virgin Interactive, like, internal studio. This one, they fobbed it off to NMS software, who were not a great software house, from what I recall. They also made, what was it, Jimmy Connor's Tennis, which was also on the NES. I don't remember if that game was actually good. Look at this. Why doesn't he just go up the platform, you Burke? There we go. Oh, yeah, here's the, Wait, how do I do this? There we go. Well, unfortunately, I can't afford anything because there's basically no gems to find. And I don't remember what the lamp does. Is that a checkpoint? But yeah, NMS. Yeah, mess indeed. Okay, well, we did the first level at least. And like I said, I've played through the Mega Drive version of this. This one I haven't actually played through. There we go, got a nice extra life there to make up for the one I lost. Haven't escaped from gods. Now, from what I remember, the NES version of this, like, I think they cut some of the levels. Unless, maybe I'm thinking of the Lion King game that came out later. I know the Lion King game did that. I don't remember if the NES Aladdin game does. But, yeah, I definitely remember there was more to the Agrabah sort of area in the Mega Drive game. Like, you had to fight a boss. Unless maybe that comes after this level. Also, yeah, like, the limited screen resolution really does not help with some of these enemies. Like, the ones that can throw projectiles at you, it feels like they can throw them from off screen. Also, yeah, you notice the hitboxes seem to be a bit off. Like I was a few pixels away from that snake, and yet I still took damage. This feels a bit suspect. So I don't... Is this even the right music? I think, from what I remember, the NES version of this had like 2 songs in it. There's like 1 song for the first half of the game, and then a different song for the second half, and they couldn't be bothered to do more. This, I think, does have more songs at least. So at least you're not hearing the same song for half of the game. Here we go. Try not to fall off the trees, because there's a thing you can do. Also, I forgot you can do that. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the Lion King, they just cut... They just didn't even bother with the second half of the game. It's just like, yep, and Simba became king, the end. Also, that looked like I should have gotten hit, but I didn't. It's like if you're in point-blank range, the enemy misses. Which is kind of like what some games do the other way around. But, like, why is it playing... Like, why is it playing, like, the title theme on this level? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, a whole new world. Like, this is, like, the last place that you should be hearing a whole new world, let's be honest. Just in the middle of the desert. Where Land's just fighting dudes. But yeah, we can get more apples. Well, I got 55 of them anyway, so kind of pointless. Oh, here we go. Just go through the platform and you're good. But yeah, as you see, you got this whole issue where enemies can like attack you from off screen. That is at least maybe the one thing the NES version fixes. Well, that and I guess having more appropriate music in this level, but yeah, like that one you could at least see the enemies from far away, if nothing else. What am I supposed to do? Can I jump up the platform? No, I guess we're just stuck. Unless it's like, oh, you have to do some objective, but we're not going to tell you what it is. Okay, is this the actual end of the level, or do I have to do something first before I can beat it? Because I'm pretty sure in the original, you just beat the level and that's it. No, and... Wait, what happened? No, I just randomly died for no reason. Like, I don't know. For a second, I thought the game crashed. Like, that's kind of the level of quality we're talking about. Where, like, a death animation just looks like the game crashing. The bug pots. Yeah, of course, the game doesn't actually tell you to do that. I'm sure the Mega Drive version, it at least gives you some kind of, like, graphical indication as to what you're supposed to do. This one, they couldn't be bothered, because too much effort to put a graphic that says, collect this bug pot to beat the level. Also, yeah, like, note that I just take damage randomly half the time as well. Like this. Like, it will not let me move any further to the left, because NMS software, I guess. Also, yeah, where the bug parts are, I don't know. It feels like I searched, like, every part of this level, or at least saw every part of the level and, like, missed it. But yeah, you notice that the AI just, like, spams hits? Like, that's the entire strategy, just spam moves and hope you win. And let me guess, like, if I die, I have to collect the bug parts again. Okay, there we go. At least they just leave the other one at the end of the level. No, and that's it. So we got the bug thing. And that's, yeah, good old, Vizier. Whatever you want to call him. You know what's really funny too? So there's a bootleg of this for the Famicom, like based on the Mega Drive game. That's missing a lot of levels, but is otherwise a better game. So we collect that thing. So I think this is the level that has the boss at the end, isn't it? Yeah, so we grab on the magic rope and continue. You know, I will say this. The backgrounds for Game Boy look pretty decent. Like this looks like Agrabah. I mean, granted, it's a very blue version of Agrabah because I'm playing it on Super Game Boy. But, you know, if you were playing this on Game Boy, you'd be like, actually, this game looks pretty good. And it's kind of a shame, too, that they didn't bother to colour this in on the NES. I mean, the sprites don't look quite as good. You know, you got this weird outline around everything, which I don't know what that's about. But, yeah, I mean, you can certainly do a lot worse. Also, yeah, I don't really get the music. Again, why would you ever use a whole new world, like, on an action level? It just doesn't make any sense. The only time I've ever heard that you... Oh. Am I supposed to be able to stand on this? I don't think I am. I think I just, like, glitched my way onto that. But, oh, if it lets me get further in the level, then sure, why not? So we got this thing. Yeah, so this is, I think, the music that's supposed to be in level 2. But they put it in the wrong level. So I don't think you can look down, which would help in a Game Boy game, but no, you can't do it. Oh, the escape. Yeah, I do remember what the rug ride is in this. I kind of want to see if I can get to the escape. Because, yeah, I've seen what it's like in other versions, and... Yeah, you can at least hit the enemies when they're off screen, so there is that. Of course, you have to be able to see that you're actually hitting the enemies, though. It can be a bit awkward. Also, it's kind of... Sometimes they put you in situations where it feels like not getting hit is basically impossible just because of where the enemy is. And that's kind of a problem. Like, sometimes it just feels like you have to take damage. And sometimes it just feels like the hitboxes just don't work as they're supposed to. It's like, you can't really tell if you can hit an enemy half the time. Oh, here we go. I think this is the boss, isn't it? Yeah, this is just the dude that you fight at the end. I don't even know who this is supposed to be. Is this like the dude that you stole from the market? Also, I just realized I've used up most of my apples. I'm going to have to switch it to sword at this point. Yep, just spam the sword and hope it works. Yep, there we go. Hooray! Oh, no. Don't tell me I have to get another bug pot to finish the level. Why? Just like I beat the boss. See, I hate when games do this. It's like, oh, you beat the boss, but also that's not good enough. And also the fact that the enemies all respawn if you die. Yeah, we're gonna force you to backtrack just to like beat the level. Just, oh, it's like you signed off on this bit. Like, I don't remember this being so much of an issue in the Mega Drive version. I think in that one it may be a bit easier to see where the bug parts actually are. Yeah, well, now I guess I'm just forced to backtrack to the start of the level. Because I couldn't turn around while I was falling, because the game wouldn't let me do that. So, like these spring things only seem to work about a third of the time. So, like, look at this. Like, half the time, the things you have to bounce on just don't work. It's like he only bounces, like, half the height that it's supposed to. Which, again, was not a problem on the Mega Drive version. I'm just saying, like... Yeah, like, I bounce off an invisible ceiling, because the game's shit. The game is coded like buggery. So, yeah, you can definitely tell this was not made by the same team that made the Mega Drive game, because, you know, that game actually worked properly. It's like, oh yeah, you beat the stage, but also we're going to, like, force you to, like, look around the whole level to fight, like, an arbitrary piece. I mean, this was kind of a problem with European platforms in general, where it's like, it wasn't enough to just get to the end of the level. You also had to, like, do some arbitrary thing. Okay, now it decides to spawn a rope, even though it couldn't be bothered before. Also, yeah, there's a real, like, lethargy to the controls. I was like, hey, okay, so while the foreground looks quite good, the background not so much. Like, you look at this background, like, it's just white. I guess there was only so much they could do with Game Boy. Oh, no. Don't tell me they put a second boss fight on this. I can't even get to the boss. It's like, if you don't have enough apples, well, tough tits. You're not doing it. And this dude just arbitrarily takes more hits than the other ones that look identical. Yeah, like, the game is really slow, and, like, not in a good way. It just, like, it just feels like the whole game, it's like running at a quarter of the speed that it's supposed to. And having played the Mega Drive game, yeah, it's like that, like, how are you meant to avoid getting hit there? You can't, like, because you have to, that stupid getting up animation, and then basically the game, like, forces you to take damage, because you can't hit the enemy in time before they hit you. And because the game is such a broken piece of shit, they force you to fight this boss multiple times, even though you already beat it. Yes, this is it. This is the entire strategy. Because you have to, like, save all the apples for the other boss, and you don't get a checkpoint between bosses, because whoever... the person they got... like, the design that they had on the team was a wanker. I'm just gonna say that. Because, you know, it's true. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna waste your time by forcing you to fight multiple bosses in a row without a checkpoint. Look at this, like these animations where it's like, it takes like half an hour to get up. It's like, why? Why did you program it like this? And, like, look at how broken the hitboxes are. Like, you could be half a mile away from the thing and still get hit. And you can't even tell if you have the apples selected or not. Like... you look at it, like, the hitboxes are so broken, you can't tell, like, where to position yourself to not get hit. Because half the time when you dodge the thing, you get hit anyway. Because, like, the hitboxes are, like, twice the size of, like, the actual sprite. Continue, you know, I'm gonna say no, because fuck this game. That's it. Actually, okay, like, is there a level select code? If there's a level select code, we'll take a look at the other levels. If not, then, yeah, this game can basically die in a fire. If I can find... where is Aladdin on Game Boy? Yeah, of course there's like 50 billion games that have Aladdin in the title, and it doesn't come up with the one you actually want. Because GameFAQs' layout is nowhere near as good as it used to be. Okay. Hold on, I'm just checking this. And of course it gives me the cheats for like half a dozen other versions that are not the one I'm playing. Okay, let's... okay, what is Toon World? Okay, level skip. Yep, ABBA. Yeah, of course I still have to go through all these animations between levels. Honestly, I think... I didn't mind the animation so much in the Mega Drive version, because you always had a decent amount of control over it. This, the game constantly stops, and you have to wait for the animation to finish, and it's like, why? But yeah, it's like I say, the hitboxes in this game are so broken. Because again, they're like twice the size that they should be. So I'm going to tell this game to go fuck its face and just skip straight to the escape level. So I don't know how many levels are in this. I want to say there's at least 10. I know the Mega Drive had about 12 levels. So Sultan's Dungeon, yeah, we're not going to bother with that. Because I want to see the escape level. I want to see how this game handles the escape and the rug ride. I want to see how good those are. So Cave Wonders. Is this it? No. That's just the one where you have to jump on the floating platforms that are being held together by shoots of water or whatever it is. Infidels! Yeah, that's the best part of the game. Okay, the escape. Wait, did like the music cues break? Why is it playing this song on this level? Like, yeah, we'll just play A Whole New World as you're getting crushed to death by giant boulders, Indiana Jones style. It's like, oh, like even the NES version had more fitting music at least for this part. Also note the fact that I can't use the sword while I'm jumping. Also note the fact that if you jump in this section, you like plant yourself and then die, which does not happen in the Mega Drive version. You can just keep moving in that one. Oh, also note the fact that, like, yeah, so the hitboxes for, like, the power-ups are, like, half the size they need to be. And the power-ups for anything that hurts you is twice the size that it needs to be. Yeah, I think I know where NMS's priorities were. Yeah, NMS. You know what they say about the game design? Needs more shite. I think that's what the NMS stands for. Also, yeah, it doesn't quite capture the excitement of the movie version, or even the Mega Drive version. Yep, just Aladdin just just walking into birds as he jumps over these pits and saunters his way to the exit. I don't know, like, would this be better if I gave this a yellow background? Like, look at that, like, I hit the thing, and then it's just, no, that didn't count, but we will have you take damage. Because we decided, fuck you, for playing this. Oh, also, I pressed the jump button and he didn't respond. You ought to say that? ABBA, ABBA. I mean, I get why they made these games slow on Game Boy to an extent, but, like, also, I mean, you can kind of excuse it a little bit for something like Castlevania The Adventure, because it was 1989, it was still, like, a new format. So I'll say this, like, this background looks pretty good. It's got a nice bit of parallax to it. I'm not so sure about the level itself, like, where are the boulders that I have to avoid? Also, where is, yeah, Jasmine. Isn't it supposed to be with me on this section? Or is that maybe just the SNES version? I can't remember. Yeah, it's like they ran out of songs. Wait, I could have sworn that the Game Boy version of this had more songs. Continue? Yeah, I'm going to say no to that. I think I'm going to call it quits. Because I am quite done with that. I absolutely don't want to play any more of that. So let's put this on the list. Where does this go on the list? Is it better than Pokémon Diamond and Jade? Well, it does have a sword attack. And it does have an apple attack. But I think the bite attack was just that little bit more effective. Yeah, it suffice to say this is not on the level of that. Yeah, it's worse than Side Pocket Versus. It's definitely not as good as Super Mario World 7. It's not as good as Looney Tunes Carrot Crazy. It's not as good as Crystal Quest, and Soldiers is a way better game. You know, you want to play a knockoff Lemmings, you may have a decent time without Soldiers. It's not as good as Ishido The Way of Stones. It's definitely worse than Flipple, an exciting cube game. You know, it's a lot less exciting than Flipple. You know, it lacks excitement. You know, Vex Block may be like a poor man's Clax, but it's certainly better at being a poor man's Clax than this game is at being Aladdin. It's definitely worse than Bubble Bobble. I don't like that version of Bubble Bobble, but it's better than this. It's not as good as Super Mario 4. I mean, that game at least had a snappiness to it that this game lacks. It's definitely worse than Castlevania Legends. It's worse than Mega Man Dr. Wally's Revenge. I hated that game, but I would play that over this. Because at least the hit detection in that game worked as intended, whereas this game it really doesn't. Yeah, Digimon 024 is a better game. Is it worse than Simpsons Escape from Camp Deadly, though? I don't know that it is. Like, it's bad, but I don't know if it's Escape from Camp Deadly bad. But the combat is awful, like, because you're constantly just having to take hits, because your attacks are so slow, and your apple supplies are very limited. 188 is the buffer zone. I'll scroll down a bit so you can see it. Yeah, it's definitely not below the buffer zone, I will say that. But yeah, we're talking somewhere around Escape from Camp Deadly. Like, it's worse than Super Donkey Kong 3. That game's more functional than this. The combat worked a little bit better. You could jump on enemies and it worked. It's worse than Tom and Jerry. It's around that same level as Tom and Jerry, though. It's got a similar vibe. But Tom and Jerry at least had more fitting music. At least when it works. The music doesn't work on the multi-cart that I have. But if you play a copy that works properly, the music is fine. The controls are more immediate. You don't have the weird sort of delay that happens sometimes with this game. Yeah, it's worse than Tom and Jerry, but it's not as bad as Escape from Camp Deadly. It's only 173. So there we go. Aladdin. I guess I could specify it as the monochrome version, but I don't have the colour version. Okay, let's play at least one more game before I go to break. So, let's see what we've got. We have Godzilla. Okay, let's try to make Godzilla the right colour, at least. Hold on, am I in the game? Yes. What's the colour scheme that I want for Godzilla? I guess I want green? Let's try that out. So let's... Yes, from Toho and Nintendo, Godzilla-kun from 1990. Okay, this game's a bit louder than the last one. Let's turn this down. So it's just me, or does this sound a little bit like the Bomb Man theme? I don't know. But yes, Godzilla-kun. There was a Western release of this game that has a completely different title screen that just looks like the movie version of Godzilla. I have no idea what Godzilla-kun is aside from this game. Like, maybe it was, I don't know, like a cartoon show or something. But let's have a look. Let's have a go at Godzilla-kun for the Game Boy. Okay, we've got the power of punching. Here we go, just punch. I can't even tell. Like, are these meant to be like the other kaiju? Like, is that Mothra coming to attack me? Like, it may as well be for all I know. So I'm trying to remember how this game works. Okay, I have made more progress on this before, and I can't remember how it works. Also, you look at the entire plan. Yeah, that's the entire plan, just a whole bunch of question marks. Okay, I pressed the wrong button. You have to press B to quit out of that. So I'm trying to remember how this works, because the A button at this point does nothing, I should point out. But okay, let's try again, because I think I missed something. Yeah, this is one of those games that is really not obvious on how it works when you first play it. You think, you know, you play this game and you think, well, what are you supposed to do? You know, it's like, here's... tiny Godzilla with a giant fist. I mean, I could just mash this all day and not actually get anywhere. But, yeah. So, you play a Godzilla game and you're like, okay, why is this a puzzle game? But, yeah, it's a weird one. But, yeah. So, there are 64 levels. That's what all the question marks are for. But, yeah. Again, I don't think the A button actually does anything. But it's like, okay, well, how do you actually play this? Oh, hold on. I think I remember what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So, this is one of those games that's kind of cryptic on how to play it, and probably should tell you how to play it at the start, and it doesn't. So, you would assume, from looking at it, that the idea is that you're supposed to get to the exit on the top right. But no, what you're actually supposed to do is you're supposed to destroy the bricks. Which, I don't know. Why they decided to make that the solution. Because you would think that that thing on the top right is the exit. It's just very confusing, just in terms of graphical notation. Also, yeah, the fact that the game will just constantly just spawn in enemies as soon as you start the level is like, why? Like, what even are these things meant to be? It's like Mecha Godzilla on the left? Like, it may as well be for all I know. But yeah, this is it. It's Destroy Rocks the game. Like, Godzilla is a weird series when it comes to games. Like, you know, like, you got the NES games. Like, the first one is a beat-em-up that has, like, strategy game elements. Like, you got this big map that you have to travel around. And then get to the main boss of the level. And that's how you win. And, yeah, it's just... it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And then this game, where you do stuff like this, it's like, oh, you went the wrong way, so now you have to die. Yeah. And there were a lot of puzzle games on the Game Boy, but it feels weird when you have it with a license. I don't know what it is, but licensed games seem to be a lot rarer when it came to puzzles. Like, you don't really get many of them. And you think about what Godzilla is as an IP. You know, it's basically giant monsters destroying a city as they fight one another. You know, that's generally how it works. I mean, there's a bit more to it in the first movie, but, you know. And then you're like, okay, what do we do with this premise? Let's make it a puzzle game where you have to destroy boulders. And also you can generate a giant fist. Yeah, like, you would think that they would have made it like Rampage, or better yet, what's that one game? King of the Monsters. Like, you would think, just make King of the Monsters, and that's... like, that is how you do a Godzilla game. Just make that, but just make it official. Like, an officially licensed one. Because King of the Monsters basically is, what if, you know, someone made a Godzilla game, or a Gamera game, or, you know, Ultraman, whatever. It's kind of like we just took that and made it into a game. And you look at a game like this, and you're like, well... yeah, I mean... I can see what you're doing with the concept, but also... why Godzilla? And this game does have a bad reputation from what I've seen from other people talking about it online, where... yeah, like the... where they really do just go, but why is it Godzilla? Like of all the IPs you could have based this on. And I guess it's one of those things that's... like, it's so obvious it shouldn't even be worth mentioning. But, I mean, you would think that if you're going to make, you know, a Godzilla game for Game Boy, maybe you would make it Rampage. You know, like, I'm pretty sure the Game Boy could handle a Rampage game. Just scale it down a bit and you're done. So, there we go. And yeah, these arrows choose the level to go to. And maybe there was an arrow there by the... Yeah. I guess Godzilla has a mom? I don't know. And unfortunately we're playing the Japanese version, so I don't know what this says. And I don't really care to. Considering it's just a game where you destroy boulders. Also, yeah, you'll notice that the vines are a bit fussy with vertical placement. You got to be on the exact spot for it to work. Otherwise, the game just says no all the time. But I mean, you could definitely see shades of, I don't know, somewhere between Boulder Dash and Space Panic, maybe? That's what comes to mind for me, at least. But there's definitely at least a little bit of a Space Panic vibe. Or maybe Mr. Chin's Gourmet Paradise, with the screens being 2 screens wide, much like in that game. Okay, so what am I oh, yeah, so this is where they start making the puzzles a bit more complicated. Okay, can I actually... Okay, here we go. You can look to the left. But I don't know what to do. So this is a problem where you're like, okay, well, how am I supposed to destroy that block on the top right? Because you have to destroy all of them. Also, I don't know what the point of the enemies are. I guess, no, now that I think about it, it's really got more of a Load Runner vibe to it than anything else. If anything. But again, like, Load Runner and Godzilla. Also, yeah, the fact that they tried to tie this in with the films for the, you know, the foreign releases is honestly a worse idea than what they did with this version. Like, this one at least you can say, well, it's, you know, it's cutesy, it's whatever. Again, I'm not familiar with Godzilla-kun. I don't know if that's a thing outside of, like... I don't know if Godzilla-kun is a thing outside of this game. If it is, I'm not familiar with it. Okay, so that's how you do it. You just do that. From a distance. But yeah, I don't really understand what the point of the enemies are. It's just like, well, we had to tie this in with Godzilla somehow. Let's just put a bunch of enemies in it, because why not? I don't know. It feels like they're more just there than anything. Okay. Yeah, I knew the game was going to pull that, where there wouldn't be an option to go to the next level in that pit. It's like, yeah, you have to not fall in the pit, and then you win. So, I guess here is Old Man Godzilla, you know, everyone's favourite. But, okay, what have we got? So, Godzilla found his way into a pit, and now has to find his way to the other bit. Or something. Like I say, it really does feel like they were trying to make Load Runner. Which is funny, because I mean, there's already a Game Boy version of Load Runner that was perfectly fine. But it's just like, yeah, we'll just make Load Runner, except the enemies just try to swarm you the whole time. I mean, the music's not bad, I'll say that. But the graphics, well, there's not really a whole lot here. You know, it really does make me think of something like Load Runner on the NES, where there's not a whole lot there. So what happens if I go up? But yeah, I mean, it's like, you had Godzilla on the NES, and then you had, like, which at least was like a beat-em-up, you know, it's kind of the right ballpark for what you would expect. So I assume I have to clear out the right end first, maybe? No, I can't tell. But yeah, then you had Godzilla 2, which I seem to recall being like a really bad strategy game. I'm not a fan of turn-based strategy games anyway, but I do remember that one being particularly poor as far as, like, that genre goes, where the entire combat is just, like, you play, like, a fruit machine to try to hit Godzilla, because you play as, like, the Japanese military forces, whatever. And, yeah, basically it's like you gotta try to get 3 7s in a row. It's like, okay, but why? That's kind of what Godzilla games tend to make me do a lot of the time. It's like that SNES game that's, like, really dull. I think that one was also kind of like a strategy game. And again, has very little going on. I mean, this is way better than the SNES game. The SNES game is just tedious. And also probably better than Godzilla 2. I don't know, maybe there's someone out there who really likes turn-based strategy games that likes that one. I don't know. As I say, I like, turn-based strategy games are like the thing I least want to play. Like, they are JP poison, let's put it that way. Okay, what am I supposed to do here? So we got these things. So I can't punch down. And I can't punch these things at all. It just doesn't work. So obviously they're trying to introduce me to a new mechanic. So I think I know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, thanks, game. Of course I'm forced to take damage because an enemy happened to be there. Which is totally fair. So it's like, okay, we got like Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah. You know, like I can't even tell what most of these are even supposed to be. Like, are they meant to be like the other kaiju, or did they just make them up for the game? Because they may as well be made up for all I know. I mean, like, the character I'm playing barely even resembles Godzilla. Like, what if Godzilla but cutesy and also kind of not Godzilla? Like, to me, like, cutesy Godzilla just isn't Godzilla. It's like making cutesy Hitler. Or I don't know, maybe, like... What's a better analogy? It's like making menacing Kirby. It's just not Kirby at that point. Here we go, collect the... Like, is that curry? I mean, we had curry in that Pokemon game earlier. That wasn't actually Pokemon. Maybe Japanese games just really like curry. But I also really like curry, so we're on the same page there at least. I never understood what people really got out of, like turn-based, like, strategy RPG games. I always found them completely impenetrable. It's like, how do you play this? Not this game, I mean, like, yeah, you play the game like Shining Force. Like, that game is way too galaxy brain for me, I'll tell you that. I got a real pea brain. And it's like, well... I mean, if you say this game is good, if you say so, I guess I'll take your word for it. But, there's no way I'm going to be beating the first couple levels. I think I'll pass. Ugh. Also, this is a little bit awkward to control the control stick. That's not a fault of the game, that's just because I'm playing on GameCube. Okay, so let's... Okay, what am I supposed to do? Oh, there's a couple boulders on the bottom. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to do something with those. Okay, how do I destroy those boulders without dying? I don't get it. Okay, we'll try to solve this one. So I assume that one's a red herring. Oh, also, you can't... If you're climbing, you have to press left or right and then punch. Which is just awkward, and it doesn't really work all that well. Also, the fact that the enemies constantly spawn out without any warning that they're going to spawn out is... Yeah, kind of cheap and not great. I was like, they didn't even bother having a proper death animation, it just explodes. Like, what can we do that's different from Load Runner? Have 7 enemies on screen who all just swarm you. Okay, I'm just trying to figure this out. So, like, I punched this. Now do... Yeah, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do on this bit. There's probably some mechanic to this that I'm missing, but, not really getting it. Yeah, because it doesn't clear those... So, what are you supposed to do here? Is this level just impossible? Did I go the wrong way? Because I don't get any items or anything to clear the path. It's not like Adventures of Lola. And you can't punch down. Okay, let me think. Actually, you know, let's not think and say I did. Let's rank this game, because I don't think there's a whole lot more to see with this one. It's just weird, deformed Godzilla goes around with like knockoff Load Runner at the end. Well, it's an odd one because it's not necessarily a bad game. But it is a terrible choice of license, which I think is why this game gets a lot of all the hate that it does. Because people look at it and go, "Oh, Godzilla game," and then you play it and you're like, "Okay, this is nothing like Godzilla. Like this is just some generic puzzle game that they stuck the Godzilla license on at the last minute." And it's worse if you played the Western release too. So, yeah, not great. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly better than Aladdin, you know. A lot better than Xenon 2 Mega Blast, or Xenon 2 Mecha Blast, whatever you want to call it. It's better than The Jungle Book. It's better than Crayon Shinchan 6. But I don't know, I mean, as far as, like, puzzle games go, I mean, like, where is Load Runner on this list? Like, Hyper Load Runner is number 74. It's certainly not as good as that. And I'd say we're probably looking more, so here somewhere, maybe. I mean, Railway... Is it better than Railway? I don't know. I mean, it's not better than Ishido The Way of Stones. I'd rather play that. It's not as good as Railway. It's not as good as Street Rider, but it is better than Volleyfire, so it's only 113. So I'm going to take a quick break so I can fill up my drink. In the meantime, please amuse yourself with this break thing. Don't go away. And we are back. Oh yes. Ready to play some more games, such as Looney Tunes. Oh yes. We played a whole bunch of Looney Tunes games, but what about Looney Tunes the game? Let's try this out. Let's try it with this colour scheme, just because. Here we go, from 1992. Looney Tunes from Sunsoft. Oh yes. I don't think we'll see many Sunsoft games. I mean, there was Primitive Princess game that I would prefer to forget. But, what is Looney Tunes like? Well, let's get a start on this one. Here we go, Daffy Duck. So, yeah, you actually do get to play as a whole bunch of the Looney Tunes in this. So, as you see, Daffy Duck has the special power to hit himself with TNT to make it blow up. But yeah. So you compare this to like other Looney Tunes games I've played. Yeah, you may think of something like Bugs Bunny Carrot Crazy or whatever it was. Which was most certainly a game that existed and was entirely playable. This has a bit more going on. As I say, you do play as like a lot of the Looney Tunes, so you do get to play as Bugs Bunny later on. Also, yeah, there's a bit of slipperiness to the controls, which can get you killed. There we go. So this, I think, was a Sunsoft internal game. Also, yeah, the weapon definitely has its similarities with Mr. Gimmick, which is a game I would much prefer to forget. Oh, yeah, also the game has a lot of boss fights or something like that, I don't know. Also, here's this POW thing that you're basically guaranteed to miss the first time. There was a Looney Tunes sports game. I'm not familiar with that. Well, since I didn't beat the first level, I might as well restart. Because I don't know if this game is limited continues or not. I don't trust Sunsoft as far as I can throw them. So, yeah. Also, yeah, this being a Sunsoft game, naturally the difficulty is going to be all the way up to 11. I'm going to say for the record, don't like Sunsoft. People tend to hold them up in high regard, but for whatever reason, I just never liked most of their games. I don't find a lot of them to be fun to play. You know, it's like Mr. Gimmick. It's like that is a game for sickos. And I'm not sicko enough to be able to appreciate it. Like, it's so hard to avoid getting hit, and your health bar is so small. But, yeah, Looney Tunes on the Switch, which I'm not familiar with. Yeah, and it's like, the bosses have invincibility and you don't, which is a typical Sunsoft move. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to tank hits, because you're always going to get hit. Well, I guess I'm invincible now. Yeah, it's like basically you need that POW thing, otherwise you die. I knew that was going to happen, but... It's one of those things, they deliberately put enemies on the bit that you have to avoid falling off. And you know, they're already making you do, like, weird, like, jumping puzzles on the first level. Which is maybe a bit much. It's like, yep, this is definitely made by the same people who made Batman Return of the Joker. Pretty sure they had the Joker working on staff there. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need all the 1-ups I can get. Because stuff like that. So, well, how do I ever get hit there? I don't know. Although, weirdly, there is a Game Boy version of... or a Game Boy Color version of this game that they made later on in, like, 1999. They ported this to Game Boy Color, and it's the exact same game, except it's in color, I think. Unless, I don't know, maybe they made that one easier. Although, I don't think they did. I think it's the exact same game. Also, this does not look like I'm underwater. Like, it looks like I'm above ground, but apparently I'm not. Which is weird. I don't get it. Yeah, here we go. It's turned to track and field again. I'm gonna mash the buttons. Well, you see how, like, cramped these levels are? I mean, I get that it's a Game Boy game. And it's better than something like Aladdin, where you just can't see a lot of what's around you, so you end up missing important things. But, yeah, you do end up with situations where you don't really have a lot of room to move around and, like, not get killed. trying to figure this bit out. I mean, I have played further into this game before, I should point out. I'm not, like, completely in the dark on this one. But, so, like, what is this thing even supposed to be? Is this even from the Looney Tunes shorts? I don't remember this one. I remember Yosemite Sam, I don't remember this. Okay. It will no longer be duck season. Especially when I got 64,000 points. But yeah, here we go, Tweety, you know, everyone's favourite Looney Tunes character, except anyone who's actually seen it. So, Tweety plays actually quite a bit differently to the other characters. Also, yeah, you have to mash the button like crazy. Like, sometimes you just don't get enough air. Yeah, this is really like sometimes you just don't get air for some reason. I guess it's like maybe like, I don't know, playing as Tails in the Sonic games. Yeah, and basically if that happens, you instantly die, because... Actually, no you don't. Just get stunned for a few seconds. But yeah, just notice they get a speed boost randomly. Once Sly, you gotta play fair. Yeah, and that's it. I do not remember how you're supposed to beat this level. Like, I get the idea is you have to avoid Sylvester, but it's also, yeah, not entirely obvious on how to do that. Also, he gets the points for you, which is interesting. It's one of those that's like an interesting idea. I'm just not sure this really works as a gameplay thing. I mean, there's probably a reason why like Tom and Jerry on the NES was just kind of a regular platform where you play as Jerry the whole time. And like, what even are these things in the windows attacking me? I can't tell what they're supposed to be. Like, it doesn't even look like a Looney Tunes character, it just looks like some dude from, like, a different cartoon. Looks more like something you'd seen, I don't know, Snoopy. See, like that, you just die randomly. Because it's a Sunsoft game, and that's just how these games roll. This is it. Like, so basically, this kind of works like... It's like, imagine playing a Sonic the Hedgehog game where you play as Tails. Except the level is more or less completely flat, and half the time you're having to constantly move left and right to not get killed. So, okay, let's see if I can survive. Yeah, this is it. Whenever I think of Tweety, I always think of, what was that game on the PlayStation? The Bugs and Taz one, Time Busters? And it's like at the beginning of the game, he just keeps going, over here, I'm over here! And it's like, do the tutorial thing. And it's just like that for like the first half an hour. Yeah, here we go, just this twit with throwing baseballs randomly. Like, you can't even go past the dude. If you touch the dude, you get hit. Also, this stage takes for fucking ever as well. It's probably like 100 screens long, and there are no checkpoints. Because they couldn't be bothered to program one. Well, yeah, you have the parallax. The parallax on the bottom of the screen, though not for the rest of it. I mean, the stage looks like... I don't know, looks more like something you'd seen in RoboCop. Like a RoboCop game, I should say. And yes, you do have to mash the buttons constantly to fly in this. Which is also not good. So it's like, I may as well be playing track and field at this point. Also, did you see, like Sylvester spawned in for, like, a frame and then immediately despawned? Like, is that the trick? You just constantly move to the right and then you don't die? Yeah, so basically as soon as he goes off the screen, he despawns. Okay, here we go. Like, who even is that in the window? Like, they could have made it, like, you know, the grandmother who keeps Tweety or whatever. Ugh, okay. But that's the level, and that's it. There we go, Porky Pig in the house. I remember this game having bonus levels. I don't know if you have to do something to get the bonus levels. It's like, yeah, you gotta be, like, a gaming god to get the bonus level by not dying. And let's face it, it's a Sunsoft game, so not beating a level and not dying basically requires you to be the greatest player to ever live. Because that's just how their games are. You know, I've kind of come into terms with, like, my inability to play games competently. And, yeah, a lot of that is just not really being a fan of most Sunsoft games. I like Wing of Medulla and, like, a couple other ones, and that's about it. So this, I guess it's like they saw the Tailspin game and was like, let's do that, but with Looney Tunes. Did Porky Pig have a plane? I genuinely can't remember. I just remember the episode where he goes to a hotel and then just winds up Daffy Duck. That was a good one. And I couldn't even see what hit me. Like, was there an enemy off the screen? Also, this actually is very similar. Now that I look at it, this is very similar to that level... Was it those shoot-em-up levels from Batman Return of the Joker on the NES? A lot like that. So am I fighting a witch or a bird witch? Like that. Oh, I did it. No, it turns out the Starman is the real boss. And for some reason has a fork and a spoon. That's not how cutlery works. Hey, we decided, you know, actually this part is so cheap, we're not even going to send you back to a checkpoint. Because we know this bit is impossible. Look at this, like the hits don't even connect most of the time. Also, like, you have to hit them like 43 times to take one hit off the health bar. Like how many hits it takes to drain this health bar. Of course, it only takes one hit for me. It's like, how are you meant to dodge that? It's impossible. Yeah, so you basically have to use every available life to do that bit. It's impossible. Like, doing that without dying... You know what's funny? Like, yesterday I was playing through Micro Mike, and I had to basically spam save states and rewind to get anywhere with that. Because beating that game normally... Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah. Although, here you go, so you got the Tasmania stage. And I did play a Tasmania game on a previous stream. That was one of the worst games I ever played in my life. Also, it's kind of weird that they display the timer at the top of the screen when there's a timer meter at the bottom. I don't really get that. But, like, this game at least understands the power of Taz far better than that other Taz game did. Because you're not, like, oh, you get to spin for, like, 2 seconds and then you're done. Because, well, I mean, just about anything is better than Tasmania 2. I played Mac and soft games better than that, so... Okay. And that's it. That one's just like, you know what, we're going to make this one easy. We're just going to make this, like, the bonus level. You know, after that last boss, you kind of need it. You know, Speedy Gonzales. You know, we did also play a Speedy Gonzales game. Albeit in the form of a Sonic game that's... Yeah. Also, yeah, this is Speedy Gonzales' attack. He just does that for some reason. My superpower will win! Yeah, I don't really get that. So I don't really understand how the attack works. It's kind of funny, because Sunsoft actually did publish the Speedy Gonzales game as well. But it was made by a different studio. I think by that point they'd given up on making games in-house. Because that game was like a year or two after this. Oh god. Okay, well they weren't kidding when they said it was Speedy. Like, oh. So, okay, I tapped the D-pad. And by tap the D-pad I mean I tapped the stick for like a millisecond. And he still went off the side. Which is, yeah, not good. It's like, yeah, good luck landing on this platform. Like, oh. Like, this is so much harder to control than the previous levels. And, like, they expect you to make precision jumps from the off. Precision jumps from the jump. And even if you land on it, half time you get knocked off the thing anyway. It's like, yeah, basically, if you want confirmation that Sunsoft made this, this is the stage that confirms it. Well, actually, I suppose stage 3 confirmed it, but... Yeah. Like, if there was any doubt that they had involvement... Yep, they definitely made this. Because Sunsoft, basically, their goal was to torture people by making, like... By basically having good programmers, but also having the Joker work on all their games. Like, you know, they had the Joker design Return of the Joker, or Revenge of the Joker, whatever it's called. And I'm pretty sure he also worked on this. Like, whatever staff member it is. It's like, what are you supposed to do there? It's impossible. Just, oh, well, you land on the platform, but then you die anyway, because you get knocked off the platform immediately, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, people complain about, like, the Speedy Gonzales game on, like, the one that they did later. That was just Speedy Gonzales. And people complain about that game, but, like, at least I could actually get somewhere in that one. It's like, unless there's some, like, special move that I'm missing that attacks upwards, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be getting any further. Yeah, this is basically it. Like, all you can do is tank hits. Oh, and they immediately put you against the boss. Let me guess, if I jump up, I hit the ceiling? Oh, no, actually I don't. It's like that one boss out of Sonic and Knuckles, the one that just constantly move towards you slowly after knocking into the pit. Oh, good. I wondered when they were going to have a rising water section. Ugh, like, you could barely control it. It's kind of funny as well, because, like, think back to the Speedy Gonzales game that I played before. That game actually controlled way better than this. Like, that game actually controlled in a way that made sense. This, it's kind of like... No. I'm like, no, I think I'm done with this one. Like, we do not need to see any more. I don't care if I get to play as Bugs Bunny, Godzilla, Superman. Okay, I don't care if the next level has Superman falling out of the sky saying they quit the fight. It's not worth the effort to get there. You know, which is kind of how it is for, like, most Sunsoft games. They kind of reach the point where you're just like, you know what, like, you're better off just playing this with save states. And this is absolutely a save state game. But is it better than Godzilla? It's certainly better made than Godzilla. It's got much better presentation. But it's kind of like every other... It is the story of, like, pretty much any Sunsoft game internally developed from, like, the early 90s. Where they're well programmed. Like, there were clearly talented people on the team. But the person they got to design the game was just a dick. And basically wanted people to suffer. And that really is kind of like the curse of these games. They're not much fun to play nowadays. Unless you are the type of sicko that actually does enjoy these types of games, and I definitely am not. And I'm entirely okay with that. But I don't know. I mean... I think about the issues that this game has. I mean, it's way better than the Tasmania game. The Tasmania game is pretty much unplayable. And also controls really badly and has bad level designs and everything else. So this is way better than that. I'm trying to think if it's better than Godzilla. I actually don't know. I think I would probably rather play Godzilla than this. If I had to play through one of them, I would absolutely pick that game over this. But this game maybe has a bit more going for it. It has a lot more ideas. You do get a lot of variation with the Looney Tunes themselves. They do all play differently, and there is something to be admired with that. I just wish that the levels weren't so evilly designed. And, yeah, I don't know. It's better than Godzilla, but not by much. Like, I would not play this over Ishido The Way of Stones. Like, that game is better than this. It's not better than Railway. But it is better than Loops. I think I would take this over Loops just about. Yeah, I'm going to say it's a new triple one. You know, it hit number 1 3 times. That's how good this game is. Well, you're welcome. I imagine... What, did you not get enough sleep? Because I got a good 8 hours. Well, okay, let's see what else we've got in this cartridge. So, yeah, we're going from Looney Tunes. I'm just going to pause for a second and just check to see what I want the colour scheme to be for the next game. Okay, let's go for this one. Spider-Man, X-Men. From LJN and Marvel Comics, so you know it's going to be quality already. Are you enjoying the music yet? Actually, no. Who made this? I missed the thing where it said the company that made it. Now I'm going to have to look it up because it's going to bother me if I don't. Spider-Man, X-Men Arcade's Revenge. So software creations to the 16-bit... Okay, unexpected development. Well, I think this entire game is an unexpected development. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been busy with real life stuff. I kind of still am to some extent, but I didn't want to leave you all hanging. So, unexpected development. Spidey has tracked the missing X-Men to the hideout of his old nemesis Arcade, but in order to break them out, he must first break in. See what they did there. Okay, so Spider-Man, you know, it's kind of funny because I played the Superman game last week, so let's see how the Spider-Man game fares by comparison. So, yeah, Spider-Man, X-Men Arcade Revenge. I do like the dog in the window. That's actually pretty good. Has a nice touch already. The controls are weird. There's a lot less inertia than you usually get. Certainly, you compare this to the Looney Tunes game, there's way less of that in this. Oh. No, apparently that's an enemy. Probably should have been able to tell from looking at it, but oops. So, here we are. We're breaking in. If I can get to whatever this thing is. Am I supposed to shoot it? No. Can I do double jumps? That's like Shinobi. Game Boy Robocop vs. Terminator. Well, unfortunately, I haven't played that one. So I don't know if it's any good. I have played the 16-bit version of this game, and I do know this game is awful, on that system at least. But that game had one thing going for it, which was the soundtrack. At least the soundtrack was really good. And, not really getting that from this. It sounds a little bit off. Well, you can definitely see the Spider-Man elements in this. Oh no, yeah, I remember. You have to do everything in a certain order, from what I remember. Yeah, so you got these targets, you have to hit the right one. Why you can't just do them in any order, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And tragically, they carried that feature into this game. Also, yeah, that looks like something you can land on, but you cannot. Yeah, so I picked the palette myself. That wasn't the game doing that. I was like, well, if I'm going to play Spider-Man, I might as well make him red. So we have to go down, apparently. Down and to the left. Like, what am I even supposed to do? Like, look at this. You can barely make the jumps. You have to jump from the specific height. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Like that. You know, the soundtrack is making me sad. Because if nothing else, the 16-bit game at least had really good music, and this just doesn't. And, yeah, unless I'm missing something, you cannot double jump. This isn't, yeah, suffice to say, this game is not Shinobi. It's like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. It's like, okay, down and to the left, apparently. Like, why can't I just collect them in any order? Why does it have to be, like, so rigid in terms of, like, how to do it? Yeah, I'm just going to blame LJN. I don't care if they were just the publisher. I'm just going to blame them. Because that's the thing to do for angry reviewer types. So, like, do I have to go down at this point, or do I have to go up? Yes. I was like, well, you probably have to get this one. But, oh. You know, this soundtrack is really making this the Fallen soundtrack. I know I keep mentioning it, but, like, this... Did they even have a musician on this team? Because I'm not convinced they did. Whoever it certainly wasn't the Fallen Brothers. So I gotta collect this one. Okay, how do I do this? Oh, like that, apparently. Got it first try. In one. Okay. Also, you can't go through that platform, which is great. Also, oh god, amazing Spider-Man 2. Well, I feel like I've already gotten further with this game than I did with that one. So that, at least, is a sign. At least I know what I'm supposed to do, sort of, a little bit. It's like, yeah, like, what is with his stance? Just weird. Also, okay, can I climb on that thing on the top? I genuinely can't tell. It looks like I should be able to climb it. But the B button just attacks. I don't think start and select do anything. I mean, start pauses it, but... Yeah, like, how am I meant to get to that? I don't understand. Because you can't... You would think maybe you could bounce off that washing pole, but you cannot. Okay, so I guess I just jump into it that way. And collect it. Hold on. Can I grab onto this thing? Because if there is, I don't know how you do it. Yeah, it just kind of glitches his way up. So either I opened a new path, or I've got to figure out the cryptic way to get to the next part of the level. It's cryptic, bro. I agree, it's cryptic. I'm the fucking caterpillar, the batterpillar, the rapping pill. Like, rap is real, like... Oh, this frame. Oh, look at this. Spider-Man. Spider-Man slides around like a baby can. What? Okay, what is the secret button combination to get to the next part of the level? Oh, I see. Yeah, should have guessed the whole time. Okay, but I can't do it while I'm jumping. I can only do it when I'm standing still, which is silly. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, like, what am I supposed to do here? Just get to the edge of the platform, maybe? Okay. We got there in the end. Okay, welcome to the second part of the level. Well, at least you actually get to use the spider web, so there is that. Oh, thanks, Spidey Sense. You're really being useful today, aren't you? Yeah, I don't know what it is about Spider-Man games, but they always look silly. And, like, why can't I go through this thing that looks like I should be able to go through it? Like, I can go into the side of it, but I can't hit my head on it. Like, who came up with this? Look at this, you can't even jump properly up the thing. Yeah, it's like you gotta do it, like, really awkwardly. So, like, what am I supposed to do here? Yeah, it's like... yep, this is definitely a Spider-Man Game Boy game. Like, you gotta do this really awkward, like, side jump. Like, look at that. Like, I obviously landed on the platform. They slipped off like a burk. And this looks like you should be able to go for it, but you can't. And it doesn't even tell me where I'm supposed to go next, because the game couldn't be bothered. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna very gingerly climb up this wall. Well, this game... I'm at least convinced this game maybe wasn't designed by the Joker, but on the other hand... Yeah, I don't know. Like, where am I even supposed to go? I don't even know. I think this is like... You know, like I gave the Looney Tunes game a bit of slack for making a decent use of the license. It's like, oh, you get to play as all the different characters. We made some of the stages impossible, but, you know, you still get to play as them. And then you compare it to something like this, where it's just like, Spider-Man goes around collecting things. It's just like, yep, Spider-Man has to collect tracker things, I guess. This is what we wanted to do with the Superman license, or sorry, the Spider-Man license. I mean, I guess he attacks a few enemies here and there, but it's also, yeah, not a whole lot going on. Yeah, dude, I think the bananas and pajamas might give him a run for his money. Like, am I supposed to go down this way or down the other way? I mean, this is the exact same problem the 16-bit versions had, just with this level. It's a level that tells you, like, do you really want to be playing this game for more than one level? It's like, no, apparently this is not the way. Because going from bottom to top would have been too logical for this game. I do know that Software Creations made the original, which is why the music is so good when the rest of the game isn't. But yeah, like, you just look at how asinine this level design is, where we just spread everything out and force you to do it in a set order. And you're like, well, but why do you have to do it in a set order? And why is the level set up like this? It doesn't even make sense. Well, in any sense, really. Certainly not from a game design perspective, and certainly not in terms of, like, how buildings work. I'm not convinced the person who designed this level has ever actually been to a building. But I am amused by, like, Spider-Man's silly walk. Do, 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 do. It's like, what's he doing? Oh, and naturally, we're not going to make you collect that one next. That would have been too easy. Oh yeah, real shitty Batman. Everyone's favourite. Yeah, basically the pro tip is don't let Software Creations near any licensed properties. Unless it's Tom and Jerry, they did an okay job with that one, but I can't really think of any others. Like, I mean, look at this. You can barely make the jump. It's like, okay, I guess I gotta do this, and even that doesn't make it because the game is an unexpected development, let's say. It's like you gotta jump at the exact frame or it doesn't count. And like, there isn't even like any dangers or anything, like anything that may give me any issues. Just like, oh, well, I guess you have to do it this way. But, yep, this is definitely a game from the people that made a real shitty Batman. You know, I haven't actually played any Batman games on Game Boy in this series, and I feel like I'm missing something by not having done that yet. But I just don't have any of the games. I used to have a multi-cart with Return of the Joker on it, which I seem to recall was, yeah, about a Sunsoft, like, a very typical Sunsoft game, let's say. New Zealand story. Well, I mean, it's an arcade game. It's kind of a different thing. Because, I mean, they were just porting the arcade game, and, you know, that game was okay. Once inside, Spider-Man quickly discovers the shackled X-Men, but as he begins to release them, he hears the voice of Arcade and his ridiculous bow tie over the speaker. Great. So, yeah, let the games begin, whatever. So, okay, so this is where the game opens up a bit, and you actually have to choose the level you want to do. So we got Spider-Man. Well, we've already played, so let's play someone else. So we got Spider-Man, Wolverine, Gambit, Storm, Cyclops, everyone's favourite. So, yeah, we got 5 levels. So, we're not going to play Spider-Man since we've already seen him. Also, like, occupation. Oh, yeah. Like, we really need to specify what all their occupations are when they're all the same occupation. But anyway, okay, let's see what Wolverine is like. Yes, cycle. Classic. Okay, so let's see how Wolverine plays. So he's got a really short attack. He can't climb on walls, so I suppose you'd expect that. Also, this looks like he just, like hid into, like, trying to hide in a box, and it's not really working. So here we go. Spider-Man versus the Toy Soldiers of Doom. I mean, I get that it's arcade. But, even so. So, yeah, we'll just have Wolverine versus the Toy Soldiers. It's like he got transported into Toy Story on the Mega Drive. Or, well, actually, no, more like Toy Story on the Game Boy, let's put it that way. Also, something disappeared there? I can't even tell what that was. So I assume I just, like, mash the button to open this, or... No. Yes. Yes, you do. Oh, wait. Do I have to do this, like, this distance? I don't really get it. So obviously I did something, but I couldn't tell what. Okay, am I actually supposed to break this wall, or is this just like a red herring? Because, given what the first level was like, I could believe it either way. Oh, I have to hold up and press B? If I press B, it doesn't count. I have to hold up and press B for it to actually, like, break the wall. Something about this level makes me think of X-Men 2 on the Mega Drive, but saying that also makes me think I should apologise to X-Men 2 for the Mega Drive for comparing this in any way to that game. Because that is an X-Men game you should play. That game is quality. It's hard as hell, but it's quality. Some real interesting stuff in that one. Here we go. At least it can open doors, I guess. I mean, that's something. And I just lost all my health to a clone, apparently. Oh, and also it's one of those classic level designs where if you miss a jump, you have to redo most of the level. You know, it's one of those games. But I mean, yeah, I'll give him this. He at least looks vaguely Wolverine-like, although I don't really know what's going on. Like, was that... For a second, I thought that was meant to be a boss fight, but no, apparently that's just a background enemy that you just have to avoid, I guess. No, and that one, he didn't like me, so shot me. Great. Fine, let's have like a gambit then. I'll just go through them in order, why not? So, gambit. Okay, so you can throw cards. It's kind of his thing. Yes, gambit versus chess. You can't bluff in a game of chess. Oh, also, I just realised the cards meter. Because, you know, you wouldn't want an infinite supply of cards in a side-scrolling platform where you're constantly being attacked by a ton of enemies. No, you want a limited supply of cards. So, okay, how do I make this jump? Is there a special move? I don't think there is. It's like, nope, you missed the jump and that's it. And you gotta do it, like, real pixel perfect. Okay, what's Storm's level like? Okay, so this one you're underwater? Oh! Oh, it's so slow. I mean, it's nowhere near as much of an eyesore as the water stage in Superman, at least, but, yeah. Oh, also I noticed the, yeah, I guess oxygen meter? It does have infinite laser. Or is that? What am I supposed to do? Well, I can just get my health back this way. But, like, you see how wide the sprite is? I can imagine there'd be a lot of sprite flickering if this game isn't made a certain way. What's it? What am I supposed to do here? It's like, oh, well, no, I guess there's just this door in the way. Also, yeah, why is Storm underwater? It's like, well, we had to put a water stage in here somewhere. Might as well just make it Storm's level, just because why not, I guess. I would like to see a cycle stage as about as well. But hey, at least I can just keep doing this. Because it's not like the enemies respawn like they do in so many other games. Like, the enemy at least stays dead, so there is that. So, oh, no, they do respawn, never mind. Well, the walls don't respawn at least, so it's one less thing I have to do. Also, I have no idea what I just collected. Like, is that extra health, or is it well, something to do with my attack? Oh, okay, I don't know what that did. I guess that was meant to be like a screen clearing move, but yeah, you try figuring that out the first time. I don't know what to do. Except, well, I can't even mash the button because it doesn't work like that. You can only have one laser on screen at once. You know, I did actually see, like, the X-Men films back in the day, like the, you know, the ones with Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman in. Those films were not great from what I remember. Also, like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Like, is there a secret? Is there a secret area that I'm missing? Because I can't jump out of the water. You'd think you would be able to. So there's got to be something in the background that I'm supposed to interact with that's not obvious that I'm supposed to do that. So, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this. So I get my health back. But, like, you see how far to the right of the screen I have to be as well. Like, yeah, we're just going to have it so that you have, like, 2 inches of space to the right. So, okay, my only guess is that I have to activate this thing on the left side of the level. Maybe. Because I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. And no, apparently the water went up. I don't know why. You know, there's no reason to avoid these things anyway, because I'll get my health back right away anyway. So what's the point? So like I say, everything about this game just feels very, like, asinine in how it's set up. And now I can't move down for some reason, except now I can. Okay, I don't know what happened there. This game being weird. I mean, the water effect isn't too bad, I'll give it that. You know, it reminds me a bit of a Sonic on the 8-bit systems. But it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do at this point? Like, just trigger something that makes the water go up? I don't know. It's like, well, I guess that did nothing. It's like, how do we make the game longer? Just make it so that the player doesn't know what they're supposed to do. You know, this is basically a where, as the AVGN said, a where the fuck do I go kind of game. Actually, I think you may have just used that description for the Wolverine game on the NES. And that Wolverine game is not good. Like, I don't know if you ever played it, but, not worth the time. It's like, oh yeah, you want to move through the same 3 screens over and over again? So you can try to figure out the exact spot you need to trigger this ball thing. Okay, here's a question. Does anyone know what you're actually supposed to do in this level? Because I've seen people try to play this game, and from what I've seen, a lot of people just give up on the first level, certainly for the 16-bit versions at least. They're just like, no, I'm not going to play this any further. Just because, like, the first level is so tediously designed that you're like, okay, I'm not even going to bother. Hold on, maybe I gotta do this with, like, both of these things on screen? No. Okay, bored now. Okay, let's see what happens if I die. Because, yeah, this doesn't really make me want to continue any further. I mean, when this is, like, the best you can do, just, like, yeah, we're just gonna make it so you move back and forth across the same few screens because you don't know what you're actually supposed to do. Hold on, can I glitch the game by shooting so many lasers? No, I guess not. And the classic homing enemies. Well, at least my colour scheme makes it easy to pick some of the details. Oh, I can shoot in multiple directions. Actually, that's good. Yep, and he just dies for no reason. The end. It's just like, oh, he fell 5 inches. Time to end the game. And no continues because fuck you for wanting to play any further into this. Ugh. Well, I think that's all we need to see of that one. So, yeah. Let's have a think. Where does Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge go on this list? Well, it certainly gives me more of an appreciation for the Looney Tunes game I just played. I mean, that was at least a well-made game with some good presentation. This is certainly not that. This is, well, basically taking a shitty 16-bit game and just dumping it onto the Game Boy. And you have to go, well, why would you want to do that? But no, yeah, this is certainly no Looney Tunes. It's also certainly no Bomb Disposer. You know, the poor man's Super Mario. The poor man's Dr. Mario. It's not as good as Tesserae. It's definitely worse than Wizards and Warriors Chapter 10, Fortress of Fear. The Amazing Spider-Man is a better game. You know, if you want to play a Spider-Man game, so far that's your best option. Castlevania The Adventure is a better game. It's only a lot less cryptic. Mega Man 3 is a better game. Is it worse than Digimon 024? It's having to make me think if this is worse than Digimon 024. Yes, it is worse, because Digimon 024, the objectives were at least straightforward. It was just a case of, you know, go from point A to point B, collect a bunch of items to fill a bar at the bottom of the screen, and that's it. It doesn't work well, but at least it made sense for the most part. And that's more than I can say for this game. Like, this game is yeah, bobbins, I think is how I'd describe it. So it's definitely worse than that. I think the Aladdin game's better, because at least in Aladdin, I mean, you had the whole thing with having to collect the bugs, but at least there were only 2 of them, and one of them was just at the end of the level. There's a variety in the level designs in this game, but the variety is just in giving you really stupid objectives that don't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, you do at least get to use the spider web. The abilities do at least make sense somewhat, so there is that. But no, this is worse than Aladdin. It's worse than Trump Boy, which is barely a game. It's just like 3 card games that were just kind of thrown together, like, really quickly. But, I mean, I would rather play that. I'd rather play Zettai Muteki Raijino, which I believe was Micronix's only Game Boy game. But this is worse than that. It's worse than NFL football. It's worse than Superman, because at least Superman is funny. This game is just tedious. I don't know if it's worse than Radical Rescue, though. Well, I mean, Radical Rescue at least had continues. This game, you get no continues. And I don't think there's a way to get any more. And that game had better graphics and music. It had better controls. Yeah, I'm going to say this is worse than Radical Rescue. Is it worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2? Because that is... See, this is where you get to, like, the real bollocks at the bottom of the list. Is this worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2? Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a confusing mess that didn't make any sense. I mean, Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge, I at least, for the most part, could figure things out. Like, I could at least figure it out enough to where I could beat the first level and access the other levels. The level is awful, but at least I could do it. So, yeah, I mean, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just completely inscrutable. So I'm going to say it's better than that, but barely. Like, it is still complete trash. You know, bottom 10 game. You know, it is currently the 9th worst game on this list. So congratulations, Superman, you are no longer in the bottom 10. Okay, let's play at least one more game. I've got a lot to do this evening, and I've work in the morning, unfortunately. But I do have time for one more game, so let's see what Tarzan is like. Now, you would probably expect this game to be a tie-in with the film, and in fact, the label art actually just does show the cover art from the Superman game for the Game Boy Color. However, when you actually go into it, it is not that game, as evidenced by the fact that it's not a Game Boy Color game. Nope, this is instead a game from GameTech that actually predates the existence of the Disney film. So, I guess, you know, in 1994, for some reason, GameTech decided to get the rights to the Tarzan book and get a video game based on the book. At least, I assume it's based on the book. I'm not aware of there being any cartoon tie-ins or anything like that. But, yeah, you know, it's actually copyrighted to Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc., so, again, there's no Disney or anything like that. And I'm sorry, this does not look like Tarzan to me. This looks more like Simon from Captain N. Like the really shitty version of Simon from that show. Like Simon Belmont, I should point out. But, yeah, here we go. By Eurocom. So, we'll just go for normal. Oh, that chin. Is that even a chin? Because that does not look like a chin. That looks like, something else. So here we go, Witch Doctor. I mean, you can tell this is a British game just from the art style, but yeah. The Great Escape... No, sorry, Great Escape? The Great Ape has a mysterious illness which can only be cured by a special potion. So I guess look for a potion. Yeah, this is definitely Good Faces Central. But, what do we actually have? So... 16... Okay, I see. So yeah, this is a very European game. You gotta collect 16 herbs, I guess. Actually, this is very reminiscent of the Jungle Book game, which was on the Game Boy. I've played that one before. It's not great. But this looks like they saw the Jungle Book game and was like, okay, let's do that, but with Tarzan. I think that's what happened. Because the Jungle Book was big again in the early 90s. They were like, okay, let's do that. Because this first level looks just like the first level of the Jungle Book game. Also, like, am I throwing bananas? Because they look more like swords to me. Which makes a lot more sense as a weapon, but I don't know why... I don't know why Tarzan would be carrying an infinite supply of swords. Actually, yeah, it is swords. If you look on the bottom. Like, I thought they were meant to be bananas, because he's, you know, caveman in the jungle, whatever. But, yeah, like, this is definitely one of the most British games I've ever seen. But, is the game any good? I guess we'll find out. Okay, so I can shoot up, but not down. Also, again, this really does not look like Tarzan. He just looks like... I don't even know. But yeah, so it's basically just a hunt. A treasure hunt for these herbs, I guess. Wait, there's a Game Gear version of this? Okay, that's new to me. I wasn't aware of that one. Okay, well at least it kept track of the fact that I collected one. So there's that. Okay, let's try going up here again and see if we can get this to work. So I collected a bow and arrow, but I don't know what that did. But this really does look like the Jungle Book game. It's like they were just trying to copy that. Like, I don't remember the Jungle Book Disney game. I want to say that one was different. Like, I know the PlayStation game was sort of a 2D platformer, like a bit like Klonoa or something like that. And I'm going to guess because I haven't played the Game Boy version at all, but I'd imagine it's kind of a similar deal. Oh, yeah, totally fair, by the way, having the enemy just come off screen. Also, yeah, I can tell you right now, this vine swinging thing doesn't work nearly as well as it does in the Jungle Book game. So, like, I don't think there's a reason to go there. Unless there's something I'm missing, but I wouldn't have thought so. There we go, just jump off this ledge, I guess. Also, like, what is my health? I guess it's maybe that thing on the bottom right. Maybe that's the health indicator? It's hard to tell. No, and I fell off the rope, I guess. I don't know. Okay, well, I got some of my health back at least. Actually, what even is this music? Yeah, this is some very European music, but it's not like... Normally, like, you get really good jams with European games, at least. This is just kind of like... I don't know, just minor key and kind of blur. Although, thinking about it, didn't Eurocom also make, like, Tesserae? I know I've played some Eurocom games on the stream before. I think Tesserae might have been one of theirs. So we go, fighting Pete Postlethwaite. Okay, is that a checkpoint, maybe? Why would I want a checkpoint at the bottom of the level where there's nothing? So what's the point? I can't even tell what the health indicator is. Is it an apple? Is it a time bomb ready to go off? Also, yeah, good luck figuring your way around this map. Okay, so I can only shoot the arrows forward, which makes it pointless. Because these things you can shoot in any direction. I guess the other weapons kill them less hits, but... if an enemy is above you, then it's like, what's the point? Oh, Eurocom did the... Oh, did they do the Game Boy version of Jungle Book? I guess that explains why this is so similar. It's like, yeah, well, just take this game and just rework it. But yeah, the Jungle Book game was not great on the Game Boy. I know that because I've played it, and... There we go. 59 arrows to win them all. So I think if I fall to the right, here we go. Also, why does Tarzan have swords and a minigun? Like, okay, watch what happens when I select the weapons. So we got bow and arrow, a spear, and I'm sorry, that's just a minigun. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but that's just a minigun. I was like, thanks for always selecting the weapon I have no supplies of. It's like, could you just not have it, just not appear on the menu if you don't have any of it? Yeah, Tarzan and his famous guns. Also, yeah, good luck keeping track of what you've actually collected as well. Like, the level is such a, like, sprawling kind of mess without any real landmarks for the most part. Aside from, like, the start and edges of the levels. By the way, yeah, so I think I mentioned last time, and I'm sure some people missed it, I did decide to disqualify multi-cart only games off the list, because it's not necessarily fair to rank those against, like, officially licensed games. Here we go. Javelin is back! Great. But yeah, I was like, you know, maybe it's not fair to include those. I mean, you think about, like, well, what are the worst games of all time? And if I was counting games exclusive to multi-carts, well, I could just turn around and say, well, Micro Mike is obviously the worst game ever made. Like, no other game even comes close. Because that game just doesn't work, and is virtually unplayable. And, yeah, I don't think that's really fair. You know, I could include Warfleet on this list, but I'm also like, oh, thanks. Yeah, it's like, I could include Warfleet on the list, but I'm not sure if it's entirely fair to do so, because it's like, well, clearly Sachin didn't care enough about the game to give it a standalone release. But as I say, I kind of discounted those games. Give me that. I want to at least try to beat this first level. I mean, at least it resets your timer when you die. So it could be a lot worse. It could be like, oh, you. By the way, you have 1 minute to solve this level. Good luck. Let's see if I can actually beat a level of this. But given how massive it is, because this level feels huge. Not in a good one. Yeah, so like, I think I collected the one down here. Then there's no time to waste. Looks like it's a job for Tarzan. Hold on. So if I fall down this, do I die? Yes. And of course, there's no way to see that in advance. Because, you know, it's not like you can look down. Like some games on these handheld systems, you could look down. But this game, they couldn't be bothered. And I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Yeah, Tarzan gun. The classic sequel to Tarzan Boy. You know, this should have been a game based on the song Tarzan Boy. If they did that, this game would instantly be like a kajillion times better just to have you play as Baltimora. If this game starred Baltimora, it would be an instant classic. Yeah, Tarzan is Superman, except he lives in the jungle and doesn't bother to do super flight or anything like that. Like, did I even go down this? Yeah, I did. And like, you see where the real problem comes in. It's like, okay, now you just gotta do all this ladder climbing and fighting the same few enemies over and over. And there's no map or anything like that. Like, anything that would be of a use. And I'm going to assume that, like, the collectibles, like, it gives you the exact number that you have to collect in the level. Like, you're not allowed to miss any. Yeah, it's like your only real threat is the timer. And, yeah, the timer and spikes. Because you get enough health refills from the enemies that they're not that much of a threat, it seems. It was like, okay, well, where am I supposed to go? Again, you can't look down, like I'm trying to, and it's not working. So I don't think there's anything there, but like, I don't know for sure. Because he falls off the thing like a twit. So here we go. Oh, well, I guess I got an extra life from that enemy. Oh, you know what? What am I supposed to do? Oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, see, this is the worst part of games like this, where, like, I think of a game like Global Gladiators, where you had to collect a certain number of, like, collectible items to beat the level, but you didn't have to collect all of them to beat the level. And Jungle Book, the levels were nowhere near as sprawling, so it wasn't as hard to find your way around them. This game, it's like, yeah, good luck. It's just like, we made the level massive, just so you couldn't find the things that you're looking for. It's like, look at how long this branch is. It's like several screens wide. But okay, well, I guess I gotta jump on this. So I can do this at least. I don't know if it really helps. But like, okay, how am I meant to make that jump? It just doesn't work. So it's like you have to do the left side of the level first, and then do the right. Unless there's like some secret that I'm missing. I don't know. Like, am I supposed to, like, hold up or something when I do it? Because I'm not getting enough height off this jump. Like, it's obviously the same mechanic that they used in the Jungle Book game. Except it doesn't really work the same way. So look at that, you can't make that jump! It's like, is it intended for you to make that jump? I don't think it is. And if it is, then they fucked up. And of course I can't make this jump. Yeah, so I've got another 4 of these things to find. And I haven't got a fucking clue where I'm supposed to find them. Like, okay, if there's any, like, mechanic to this game that I'm missing, please let me know, just so I can try to figure out how to beat this level. Because if I pause the game, nothing comes up. Select just selects weapons. Yeah, I think I said something before on a previous stream about, like, idiot gaming. And I think that phrase sums up this game quite well. Like, this is, like, an absolute idiot game. Like, this is the type of game that you sit down to play if you feel like choosing to be an idiot. It's like, you know, you could have played the Jungle Book game. It's not good, but it's better than this. Instead, you chose to play the Tarzan, like, non-Disney film game on the Game Boy. Do you think Disney made this game? Or do you think Disney made the film just so there'd be an excuse to make a better game based on this IP? It's not out of the realm of possibility playing this. You know, it's funny, like, even the Superman game, or, yeah, the Superman game and the Spider-Man game, both gave you more clues than this game. It's just like, find 15 things. Also, by the way, the map is huge, so you can't find your way around it. And also, there's a checkpoint that makes it impossible, because you can't go back. Unless there's, like, some super secret move. I mean, granted, I don't have the manual. Maybe there is some super secret move you can do that, yeah, that allows you to get back to the start of the level. But, I'm not seeing it anywhere. Here we go, just man shooting a blunderbuss in the wrong direction. Yeah, just about to sums this up. He's like, can't be bothered. Just disintegrated from existence. It's like, why even have this checkpoint if the left side of the level is impossible to access? Well, let me see if I can do like a soft reset. Because I feel like you have to do the left side of the level before you can even attempt the right. But the game doesn't tell you. Actually, what does easy do? Maybe that gives you, because I want to see how that affects it. So I gotta collect the same number of items. Yeah, so I don't know what the difference is. Like, does it just give you more lives? Yeah, you don't start off with any headwalks or anything like that. Okay, so maybe I'm missing something, but this doesn't actually seem to do anything. Like, whatever this item, like, whatever the easy mode does, it doesn't actually seem to do anything. It seems identical to me. Unless maybe the enemies die in fewer hits or something, I don't know. Naturally, the enemies like camping on tops of ropes. Yeah, I think that's it. So, basically, the difficulty option is completely useless. Because the one thing it changes is the one thing that least affects the difficulty of the game. Because, like, making the enemies easier to kill does not make this game any easier. Like, I was hoping it would be like, okay, they make it so that you only have to collect, like, half of the items. Or something like that. Yeah, I think that's literally it. It's like they didn't understand the, like, where the difficulty of their own game actually came from. It's like, well, we programmed a difficulty setting that has no meaningful impact on the game. But, yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything I missed last time. You know, like this looks less like Tarzan and more like a stereotypical, like, late 2000s game protagonist. Except, in the obligatory, he loses all of his clothes to try to strip him of his manhood scene. I was like the projectile despawned when I killed that enemy as well. Yeah, okay, so it's literally just the enemies take less hits. They're not bullet sponges anymore. What even is this level design? Why is there just a giant cliff face on the left that you can't scale? Also, you might get more health. I don't know. I didn't even care to check how many hits you get in the original. This in normal mode. There's like a cave there, but I don't know how you're meant to get into it. Maybe you have to get into it from the right. To the right! Come on, to the left! The music can also make you think! Okay, here we go. Oh, come on! I pressed the jump button, you tit! It's like, I know how to jump! Jumping is not in my lexicon. I know Tarzan didn't talk like that, but screw it. This game does not deserve an accurate Tarzan, and it did not get one. Ugh. So what happens if I try to beat level 1? I'm going to deliberately avoid the checkpoint so I don't... Like, I can at least get back to the start of the level, just the rope swinging mechanic doesn't work. Or if it does, it's way too cryptic on how you're supposed to do it. Like, is there anything below this rope? Well, I can't see. Because the game won't show me what's below the rope. Yeah, like, what even is the point of the rope swing mechanic if you can't swing to anything, if you can't jump far enough? Unless there is a way to do it, and I just haven't figured it out. But, like, I figured it out in the Jungle Book game. It ain't working in this one, and this apparently is from the same people who made that. So, I call shenanigans. Whatever that word means. Like, what is a shenanigan? This is making me ask hypotheticals about the concept of a shenanigan. That's kind of the level we've reached with these games. Here we go. Tit with the sticks. There we go. Can I find the last 4? Try to, at least. Yeah, I at least try to do a little bit of my due diligence. But, I mean, so far, like, the only, like, good game I've played on this, I mean, not counting the filler games, is, like, Pokémon Diamond, yeah, Diamond, Crystal, Jade, whatever. There we we go. I'll collect the seed. Whatever the seed does, I don't know. Oh, good. Yeah, here's this thing that you can't collect normally because the level designer was a dick. Okay, let's not touch this thing. Because there's no reason to. You're actually better off just not touching it. Like, where am I even supposed to jump to? Like, what is this level design? Who signed off on this? So, oh yeah, this game that has a screen resolution of 160 by 144. Yeah, we just expect to make these blind jumps. Yeah, we just decided that was good enough. Yeah, like, you can't make it, like the ropes are useless. It's like, why have a Tarzan game where swinging off the ropes feels like garbage? Like, even the Jungle Book game did it better. And it didn't feel good in that game either, but at least I could make jumps in that game. It's only had a better soundtrack than this as well. So, what's the point of the animation? You can't jump off things to it. Yeah, just casually drop off the edge of this platform. Now I've got to find the last thing. I don't know where it is. Where is the last one? I don't know. The game certainly isn't going to tell me. Oh, yeah, nice enemy spawn, by the way. Yeah, just have me land on top of an enemy I can't possibly see in advance. Yeah. What I expect at this point. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, this is just like the first level of the previous game. Like the Spider-Man X-Men game. This is just that, but even longer, and with a time limit. Even Superman at least had a... Yeah, he at least had spider sense. He had the spider sense not to play this. So, oh yeah, you gotta get one. Yeah, it's not good enough. And also, half the time I press the jump button and it doesn't work. Because the game's a tit. Yes, here we go. Collect the last one. And now I don't have enough time to make it to the Witch Doctor. Because the game's a shit. Like, why would you put a time limit in this? It's like, oh yeah, this level that takes like 5 minutes to get from one end to the other. Yeah, we're just going to put a time limit in this because fuck you for wanting to play this. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we decided to make the level so long that you cannot possibly do it in one life just to spite the player. It's like how long, like, look at how long it takes to get from one end of the map to the other. This is like me actually trying to do it quickly as well. And there's no way to get extra time other than, like, occasionally if you hit an enemy and it gives you time. But I've literally seen one this entire game. So you basically can't rely on that. And the game doesn't give you enough time to complete it. Because the level is so unnecessarily big. And, like, there's no landmarks to tell you where you are. Other than, like, there's caves. It's like even when I get the thing, it's like, oh, you still take damage from touching this dude because it's a tit. does not touch that. In fact, I'm probably better off deliberately getting myself killed and just restarting the level. Well, at least I won't have to play this game again after today. And, like, I hadn't played this one for more than 5 minutes, and, yeah, playing this is telling me exactly why I haven't played it for more than 5 minutes. In fact, like, I can say that for, like, most of the games I've played today. Not counting Track and Field, obviously, but, that's one I played for much longer than 5 minutes. Yeah, like, that mechanic just does not work. It's like, oh, yeah, you get the items, and then, so, literally, okay, you have to get the items, and then because the rope swinging mechanic doesn't work, you have to avoid the checkpoint, and then deliberately get yourself killed to get back to the start of the level. Also, like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this part? Like, I don't understand. Great. Well, I sure do, you know, I sure feel, totally enriched by that level, and not just like I just want to die. So, here's just a random alligator who's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna eat coins. Tarzan has to collect the gold. I'm sorry, why does Tarzan need to collect the gold? Like, why would Tarzan be collaborating with, you know, the colonist types that want to kill him? Or whatever it was. Also, yes, Croc in the house. Not the famous one. They couldn't afford the license for that. Yep, and it's just level 1 again. It's like, oh yeah, you remember how great level 1 was? We had to collect the same few things over and over again? Yeah, we're just going to make it just do that again. Except now you have water. Also, like, the weapons are, like, almost useless. Yeah, like, it's just level 1 again. Except now with water, that's it. Like, it's the exact same level. But it feels like. Yeah, that actually would save this just a little bit. But it does not. Yeah, like, you're better off just tanking the hits. It's like, fuck this. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that whoever made this multicart, I think it's fair to say that quality was not the modus operandi, so much as it may have been just getting all the licensed games on the multicart. Now, you know what? I've done my time in the Tarzan mines. I refuse to take another step, or another breaststroke, or whatever. Well, I guess the first point of comparison is the Jungle Book game. Currently 137 on the list. Not a very good game. Very tedious. You had to do a lot of finding, you know, objects that don't really have anything to do with anything. But, you know, there was some weird boss fights. There was a bit more going on. You weren't just... It wasn't just, okay, you have to go around and collect all these items. Well, actually, yeah, there kind of was. But to a different extent. The levels were a bit more interesting. They weren't quite as sprawling. And, you know, it certainly had far better sound than this game. It isn't just some, like dirge done with arpeggios. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely worse than Jungle Book. Because, I mean, Jungle Book at least had a little bit more going on with the levels. It wasn't just collect 16 of one thing and then do it again, and it's kind of just the same level over and over again. Or at least that's what it feels like. I mean, yeah, this is worse than Jungle Book. It's worse than Wizards Warriors Chapter 10 Fortress of Fear. It's worse than Holy Magic Century, aka Bad Mr. Do. It's worse than Xenon 2 Mega Blast. It's definitely worse than Castlevania Legends. It's worse than... Yeah, is it worse than Super Donkey Kong 3? Yeah, I mean, because I'm thinking about this, and... I mean, a good Tarzan game needs to have good swinging, and the swinging in this game feels like absolute arsewash. And it's like you can't even just make basic jumps doing the rope swinging, unless there's some, like, cryptic, like, button combination you have to do to get it to work. But it doesn't work. You know, it's just... It's far more... Like, navigating the levels feels terrible. Because the rope swinging doesn't work. And it's utilised very badly. Like, the weapons are pretty much useless, because your default weapon kind of just kills all the enemies anyway. And shoots in more directions. Like, the checkpoint system is terrible, because even if you die without the checkpoint, it keeps track of your progress anyway. It just puts you at a different start point. And it's also set up in such a terrible way. Unless, again, there's some cryptic thing to navigate in the levels that are missed. You literally have to avoid the checkpoint on the first level and get yourself killed so that you can get to the start of the level so you can do the boss fight. Like, someone actually signed off on that. Like, there has to be something up with that. Like, there has to be something I'm missing. I hope that is just something I'm missing, because there's no way it is that broken. But I can only assume it is, because I don't know how you're meant to do that. I mean, it's worse than Super Donkey Kong 3. I mean, that game was a little more functional than this. It's worse than Aladdin. It's worse than Zetai Muteki Raijino. It's definitely worse than NFL football. It's worse than Superman. But it's not as bad as Ninja Turtles 3 Radical Rescue. I think I like playing through that game is more painful. Yeah, I think I would take this over that game, but barely. It's our new 182. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. No relation to the famous one. And you sure wouldn't want to confuse it for that one. But, yeah, we got 192 games on this list. Let's see if next time we can get to 200. I hope we can. But, yeah, I've got some stuff to do. I got work tomorrow. I got a lot to do this week. I'm going to be quite busy. Hopefully I'll find some more time next weekend to do another stream. But, until then, take care. And, enjoy your evening. So, I'll see you later, people. See you.